with the snap, looks end zone, and it is hauled in for the touchdown.
Catch right there should get him going tonight.
Gerard Wiley looking to get going. Finds the edge. Plenty of space. Now Bodie Weaver back to pass. He has space to run. He runs up the field. He's got more space. Bodie Weaver turning on the Jets. We've seen in his game here this year. Now Gerard Wiley looking for the edge. He stays on his feet, cuts up the other way. Bodie Weaver stepping up in the pocket, looking down the field, and it's caught for a touchdown. Lucas Sunwall, back-to-back weeks, he finds 6. And a big-time 33-yard score. Colleyville up 13-0. That now going to be on the coverage. And it looks like ball is down, and Colleyville picks it up. Demarius Logan with a fumble recovery. 2 for 2 on the year on field goal tries. This one is up, and it is through. So Kyle, 6 for 8 so far in this game with a pair of scores, and he looks for another here. Deep shot down the field. It's another touchdown for Colleyville. The second of the game for Lucas Sunwall, and a 37-yard touchdown. Lucas Sunwall with a couple of big scores tonight, and Colleyville running away with this one. In the gun, handoff to Gerard Wiley, and he doesn't get touched until he puts his head down across the goal line for a touchdown. Right one goes for negative yards. The one before that, they couldn't get a punt off. They just had to hop on the football, and Colleyville started in the red area. Connor Supacasey with the catch. He's breaking inside the 5-yard line. Stretches out for the goal line. Breaking through the line on the blitz. Gaines having to run for everything, and Dax Havison with an interception. What a brilliant play by the Panthers defense. Really well. Bodie Weaver, after the Dax Havison interception, throws this one, caught by Connor Supacasey inside the 10-yard line in a mission to start district play. Low snap for Bodie Weaver here on a 1st and goal. Weaver now stepping up in the pocket. Looks like he's going to run it in for a score. And he does. Bodie Weaver from 8 yards out punches it in. His 5th touchdown that he's responsible for here in the first half. 4 through the air, 1 there on the ground from 8 yards out. And the
Colleyville took care of business last week at home. The Panthers look to keep the offense churning up points tonight as they are on the road to take on the Timberwolves of Mansfield, Timberview. From Newsom Stadium in Mansfield, presented by Classic Chevrolet, this is Panther Friday Night.
He's into the end zone for the touchdown. That's 6.
Okay, now go.
It's time for Panther Friday Night on Tradio. The Colleyville Heritage Panthers paying a visit to Mansfield Timberview, taking on the Wolves. Colleyville 2-1. An emphatic victory in the district opener over the Colony last week. While the Wolves aim to bounce back, they fell in a close one against Argyle. Looking forward to this matchup coming up in just a moment. Panther Friday Night on Tradio. Keep it with you here for a moment here at Mansfield and alongside Tremel Jeffers here at Newsom Stadium. This really big matchup for Colleyville and Mansfield Timberview, two teams that a lot of people expect to finish and be postseason teams they were one season ago.
Yeah, and it's going to be the same this year as well. This is a highly anticipated matchup tonight with major implications for the district standings. A win here could really shift momentum for the winner of this matchup heading into the final headed into the early stretch of the season. I've been waiting on this game since Monday. I watched film from the Argyle and Mansfield Timberview game. This is going to be a fun matchup. I cannot wait to get going. We're about 20 minutes away from kickoff. I can't wait.
But we have a lot to touch on before we get there. Let's first look at Colleyville coming on the road, and last time they came on the road, they fell. They lost to Red Oak 20-11 in the season opener. It was a game that the offense did not look like it was in rhythm. However, week 2, they come out 30-21, beat a pretty good Richland team, and they do those 30 points or put them on the board in short order. They did it in just about a half and a little bit of change in that lightning shortened game. And then how do you describe what they did a week ago? 73 points on the board, and Bodie Weaver, your starting quarterback for the Colleyville Heritage Panthers, he accounted for 6 total touchdowns, and he did it in 3 quarters.
Yeah, the word for last week's performance is perfection. All capital letters. I mean, they were clicking on all cylinders on both sides of the ball. Well, all 3 phases of the game. Special teams, offense, defense. Every phase, they did what they were supposed to. And hopefully they can carry that momentum into this matchup because it is much needed tonight.
It really is. And when we look at Mansfield Timberview, a team that coming into this matchup and really historically, as we looked at their film this week, talked with head football coach Jerry Edwards. You'll hear from him a little bit later on in our pregame show as well. But it's a team that prides itself on defense, and they made that known in week 1. They shut out a Kimball team in non-district play. The next week, they go toe-to-toe with Denton Ryan, a very formidable opponent and well-respected around here. They lose that game 20-12. And then last week, district opener, they started off with what some people were dubbing as perhaps a district championship game in week 1 because Mansfield Timberview, by some publications, were picked to finish second in this district. So that is something to follow and extremely interesting as well. However, they lose to Argyle 35-27, but a game that they trailed by 3 scores at halftime. So they'll try to carry that momentum that they had at the end of the Argyle game here into this game at home. You know they're going to be fired up. We'll take a timeout and be right back. This is Panther Friday Night on Tradio.
American Power, Texas Drive, Classic Chevrolet, #1 in the world, limited time, a special selection of new Chevys, more than anyone, all priced below market value, plus pre-owned values are up again. We're paying top dollar for trades. You could upgrade to a lower payment. Get started now at ClassicChevrolet.com.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
We're back with you on Panther Friday Night on Tradio. Will Connerly alongside Tremel Jeffers for this one at Newsom Stadium in Mansfield, Texas. District game number 2. And let's take a look at some of the keys to the game tonight, Tremel.
First, we have to keep Bodie Weaver in rhythm. Bodie Weaver has been efficient. 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 573 yards, plus 221 yards rushing. Let him continue to dictate the tempo with his dual threat ability. The second key to the game, we have to win up front. The defensive line has been very disruptive. The Logan brothers Omar Olawalo combining for 13-plus tackles for a loss. They need to keep the pressure on Miles Davis and slow Timberview's run game down. And then third is to limit the big plays. Mansfield Timberview has explosive weapons. Braylon Barnett, Cedric Portley, these guys are dynamic, and the Heritage secondary has to prevent those chunk plays downfield. They need to spread the ball to Connor Supakase and Lucas Sunwall. Those guys have been very dangerous. They've combined for 371 yards, 6 touchdowns. They need to continue mixing them in and keep that defense honest. Let's control the trenches late because Colleyville has leaned on size. Offensive tackles Wes Diallo Cubic and 6'5", 295-pound UTEP commit. And then if they can wear that Timberview front down, this game is going to shift in our favor for sure.
It does seem like it's going to be a game that the tempo is certainly going to be the biggest factor when we look at all of those things. And we'll hear from head football coach Jerry Edwards on the other side of this and get his thoughts on the matchup. Mansfield, Timberview, and Colleyville. Coming up, we'll hear from head coach Jerry Edwards. Back with you on Panther Friday night on Tradio alongside head football coach Jerry Edwards. Coach, thanks for taking the time as always. As we look back at last week, your team explodes, putting 70-plus points on the board in the district opener. What impressed you most about just how your group executed in that game?
Well, I think, if you look back on it, I think all three phases, we're trying every week to get better and to strive from week to week to be the football team we can be. And, the other night, I think, we really put it on display how good we can be. Offensively, we're efficient, explosive. Defensively, we're able to get some big stops and give our offense phenomenal field position and then executing on special teams. So really all three phases came together, and that's what we want to see. That was we only had about a game and 3 quarters up to that point. So it was really good for us to put 4 full quarters together of exceptional football.
And I know quarterback play always gets brought up. Probably the best game for Bodie Weaver in his career to account for 6 touchdowns. And he's so effective right now in running the offense and running as well along with his arm, but his legs have been a huge weapon this year. Have you seen that from your perspective and the growth he's had in the ground game?
Yeah, he's done a really, really, really great job of managing our offense. Taking what's given. He's been pinpoint with his accuracy. Our receivers have done a phenomenal job of catching the balls thrown to him. And he has a really good knack of looking downfield and knowing when it's time to tuck and run. And, some of that design run, some of it's scramble run. But he's a dual threat guy. I mean, he can beat you with his feet. He's a tough kid. He's smart. He's been in our system for 3 years. And, he's just kind of really exploded on the scene this year. And he's playing at elite level. I knew he was from the spring. It's just the growth that he's had this year has been phenomenal, and he's playing lights out for sure.
What's been the focus of the preparation this week leading into a big district game on the road now?
Well, Timberview hangs their hat on defense too, and so we got to do a good job of creating extra possessions, limiting what they do, and then making sure that we maximize all our possessions. Last year it was a 10-0 game. And so this year, I think, offense has got to keep clicking. We got to win the one-on-one battles on the perimeter. They're going to man us up. And then Bodie's just got to be him. And I think we feel good about it. Our guys have done a great job of preparing this week, and confidence is high. The biggest thing for us is going on the road, and we didn't perform great on the road the first week of the season. But, I think it's a totally different team from week 1 to week 3, going into week 4 that we saw.
With their defense, I know, like you said, they hang their hat there. Their secondary in particular, it seems like where a lot of their talent is on their roster. And you bring up just the ground game in terms of controlling things. And you have a lot of different guys who could do that. Gerard Wiley, Bodie Weaver. And then late in the game last week, you had some guys who hadn't gotten time much during the first couple of weeks, and they were performing in the fourth quarter for you as well.
Yeah, it's good to have a lot of different weapons at your disposal. We try to want to be as multiple as we can. That way we're not one-dimensional. And, adding different guys into the run game mix. And then, just the number of receivers that, caught touchdown passes. So there's not just one guy you can key on. It's just a collective group of guys putting forth great effort. And then, when you get in those type of ball games, you're able to get more guys out on the field and showcase what they can do. And it was a good experience for them and good playing time.
And in terms of the defense, I know defensive guy, and you've had a lot of guys step up this year. And for Joey as well, I saw that he got an offer here this week. What can you say just about what he's brought to the table these first few weeks of this season?
Well, I think he plays the game with passion, and you can see that out on the football field. He's the type of guy that just loves football, loves contact. He's going to find his way to the football wherever it is. He only knows one speed. And so, he's been effective when we blitz him. He's going to find a way to get in the backfield and create havoc. He's good at being in the underneath stuff. He's gotten a couple picks that way. But, a real student of the game, kind of knows where to be and how to be there. He's kind of standing on the sidelines the last 2 years with some injuries. But now this year he's unleashed, and he's been doing a heck of a job for us there in the middle, anchoring the defense.
And final question for you, Coach. And I can't talk about your defense just without getting your thoughts on Isaiah Omar. I mean, last year he gets called up, and I remember asking you, hey, is he going to play? He said, oh, yeah, we wouldn't call him up if we didn't think he could make an impact. And, boy, he's really making an impact on that defensive line, isn't he, these first few weeks of the season?
Yeah, all four of our defensive linemen and some of those guys we rotate in, they love being down there in the trenches, and they do a great job. They're big, strong, physical guys that, have a knack for creating tackles for losses and havoc in the backfield. And, Omar last year, is just a sophomore. We move him to the perimeter. He plays tremendous technique, a great coachable kid. He's got great speed and awareness of the game as such a young kid. But, the other thing that, he loves football too, and he's willing to do whatever it takes for our team to win. If you've noticed, he goes in at offensive tackle. So there's a lot of times where he's playing both ways in the last two games, and it gives our boost to our offense and gives Bodie some confidence that he's going to have a little bit more time in the pocket. And then he takes a breather and goes out on defense and gets 3 and outs and jumps back on offense. So you talk about an unselfish player, a guy that's willing to put it all on the line and play both ways at a high level at 5'8" mark is a tremendous accomplishment for that young man, especially as a sophomore.
Absolutely. I mean, it has been impressive going in at right tackle and then coming out and getting tackles for loss. But, yes, I mean, it's been fun to watch those guys, Nehemiah, the Logan guys. I mean, they're getting after. They really are. And so I'm looking forward to this matchup, Coach. And thanks so much again for always taking the time here on Panther Friday Night.
I appreciate it. Go Panthers.
That's head football coach Jerry Edwards joining us. We'll step aside and continue our pregame show next. This is Panther Friday Night on Tradio.
From your first paycheck to your first home, starting your own business or celebrating your retirement, we're here for all of life's important moments. At Simmons Bank, our modern banking solutions make managing your finances effortless and efficient, so you can focus on what matters most. Simmons Bank, proud supporter of the moments that matter. SimmonsBank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all accounts subject to approval.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Do you know what makes a...
We're back with you on Panther Friday night on Tradio. We just heard from the head coach, Jerry Edwards. I'm Will Connerly alongside Tramel Jeffers. Trey Bell with us tonight as well up here in the broadcast booth at Newsom Stadium here for this second district game and a very anticipated one here in 3-5-8 D2. Two teams made the postseason a year ago. They played in a close affair, just a 10-0 ball game last year at Colleyville Heritage, despite the teams looking a little bit different. And we talked with Coach Edwards about it. He realizes this will be a big challenge tonight with a team that plays some great defense, including a 3- and 4-star recruit in their secondary alone. So that will be a key to watch tonight for Colleyville, but they're trying to continue what they did a week ago. They certainly put up some style points with 70-plus on the board in that district opener in emphatic fashion over the Colony 1 week ago. Coming up next week, not to look ahead too far, but another critical district battle, perhaps the biggest one of the year, aside from this evening. What happens with that, with Argyle on the schedule next week as well. And, of course, throughout the broadcast, we will look around across the district and see what's going on. But Tramel, for tonight's game, as we just heard from the head coach, anything stand out to you about what Jerry Edwards' thoughts are going into this matchup?
Just his thoughts on the defense. These are two different-looking teams from last season, but one thing that hasn't changed is the identity of Colleyville and the identity of Timberview. They both play great defense. Timberview, they shut out their opponent in week 1. Week 2, they only give up 20. And then last week, they did give up 35. But they held Argyle scoreless in that entire fourth quarter. They went on a huge stretch where they shut Argyle out in their comeback. So Timberview can play some defense, and we know Colleyville can play some defense. We only gave up 20 points in our season opener. Then the second week, they only gave up 20 points. And then last week, it was almost a shutout. They gave up 7 when the backups were in the game. So we played some good defense.
And both teams with some good defense as well. And we just had the coin toss. Timberview won it. They defer to the second half, so Colleyville will start with the football here in this second district game between two teams that have a lot of big hopes coming into this year. And you talk about identity. You think when you go through a coaching change like Mansfield Timberview has, Jacody Coleman now taking the reins over as head coach for Mansfield Timberview, they still certainly possess that same identity. Now, understandably so, early on in the season, hard to necessarily pinpoint what a team's identity is, but for Jacody Coleman, he brought back a handful of guys, 25 returners on this team, 4 on offense and 5 on defense, as Colleyville is set to run out. But obviously, they did get gutted by graduation in some respects, losing 4 starters on offense and 5 on defense, and sitting at 1-2 right now. The record a little bit deceiving when you think their 2 losses come to Argyle and Denton Ryan, 2 formidable and respectable and consistent programs throughout DFW. So that is something to watch here tonight. Portley, of course, the running back in the backfield. He had 336 yards a year ago, and somebody that's big. And they've got a lot of their college talent, at least at the prospect level on the defensive side of the ball for this team for Mansfield Timberview. We heard it from Coach Edwards, also talking about the defense. Joey Nisbet getting an offer this week as well, a guy who's leading the team in tackles, well-deserved. From CSU Pueblo, and he's had many coming his way as well, and he continues to get that interest because he's just been wrecking the game at the second level of that defense, and he's been exciting to watch along with Isaiah Omar. Thought it was funny how he touched on how athletic he is, but also just the simple fact that he has played on both sides of the ball pretty consistently over the last couple of weeks as well, going in at right tackle, but also wrecking a lot of havoc up on that defensive line as well. And, oh, by the way, he's just a sophomore. So he's a big player to watch for Colleyville. Of course, we've mentioned the quarterback, Bodie Weaver, 9 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's on a really nice stretch over the last couple of weeks after some struggles in week 1 for the Colleyville offense, and they'll try to continue to generate that opportunity here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, would everyone please rise, and gentlemen, remove your hats as we prepare for the playing of the national anthem. The colors tonight are presented by the Air Force Junior ROTC Color Guard. At right rifle, Cadet
Jimena Akata. Right rifle, Cadet Aiden Torres. American flag, Cadet Commander Lila Pfeiffer. Texas flag, Cadet Victoria Oluagun. Air Force flag, Cadet Milton Velasquez. And the left rifle, Cadet Dallas Lewis. Left rifle, Cadet Aiden Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the national anthem is being played by the Timberview Choir.
To the Timberview Choir.
Well, there's the anthem being played here at Mansfield Timberview alongside Tremel Jeffers. I'm Will Connerly. And kickoff coming up in just a moment. Colleyville to receive this opening kickoff, as we're moments away from the Panthers and the Wolves squaring off here at Newsom Stadium, and the crowd starting to settle in on both sides on a beautiful Friday evening here in Mansfield, Texas. You couldn't ask for some better weather tonight under the lights here for Friday night football between two district contenders, and both teams hungry to continue progress. Colleyville looking to move to 2-0 in district play, while the Wolves looking to pick up their first district win after going up against a team that didn't lose a district game a year ago in Argyle in week 1, as we've detailed throughout the pregame show. But now we get settled in for football here in just a moment.
All right, let's kick it off. It is time. This is the game we've been waiting on, Will. We've talked about this last week. We kind of overlooked the Colony game off camera, but man, we were really anticipating this matchup. These next 2 weeks, we're going to be in for a real good treat. I'm going to enjoy every single second of it.
Number 36, Jose Hernandez.
So the senior Jose Hernandez set to kick this one off. He lets it fly and caught at the 19-yard line and brought out just shy of the 30. where Colleyville will start on offense, and we'll see if they can't continue what they did a week ago, putting up over 70 points, and the offense looking good. That's Chase Gibson on the return for the Panthers.
One of their worst starting field positions in quite some time. They have to go 70 yards down the field to start the first drive. But if you look back at last week, the Colony turned the ball over so many times, and they gave us great field position. But now to start the game, here we are at the 30-yard line.
So Bodie Weaver lined up in the shotgun. He drops back and takes a deep shot on the first play, and it's intercepted. And so the Wolves come up with a big defensive play. That's Jarossi Martin, the first play of the game, an interception for Mansfield Timberview.
And that time the pressure just got to Bodie Weaver, hit his arm, and it kind of threw the direction of the football in the opposite way. He had Connor Supacase wide open down the seam. He was wide open. If he had a split second longer, that's a touchdown. But unfortunately, the pressure got there, hit his arm, and the ball changed directions. And Timberview gets an easy pick to start the game.
Well, that's Jarossi Martin's second interception of the season in that talented secondary. Bodie Weaver, that's his first turnover, as the quarterback has a scheduled run tackled by Will Hummert on the designed keeper by a man, we'll say his name a lot tonight, Miles Davis, but does not have much room to go.
Yeah, we've talked so great about this linebacker core for the Panthers, and that time Will Hummert, he just sets the edge, and there was nowhere to go for Miles Davis.
So Davis sending a man in motion, standing in the shotgun, 2nd and 10. RPO, fire over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended target was Braylon Barnett. He couldn't haul it in. Will Hummert was in the coverage.
They're going to look at Braylon Barnett a lot this game. He's their number one receiver. He leads them in receiving yards. He normally catches those. That time the ball was thrown to him a little bit behind him, and he just couldn't haul it in.
So Davis getting the snap on a 3rd down, steps up in the pocket, and he is met by Camden Blackson. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage for a man who's toward the top of the list in this team in tackles for loss. Has a big stop right there as they swallow up the quarterback and drop him down to set up 4th down.
We're going to see a lot of that this game. The defense, they do a very good job of getting after the quarterback. That time, Davis steps up in the pocket. He tries to get out of there. There was nowhere for him to go, and now it is 4th down.
So on 4th and 11, the punt is off, and a fair catch at the 25-yard line for Will Hummert. He was active on that drive for sure. Made a tackle, was also in coverage on that attempt to Barnett, like you mentioned, their leading wide receiver. So the interception for Bodie Weaver on the first pass of the game, first play of the game from scrimmage, does no harm as they force the Wolves to go 3 and out. We thought it would be a defensive battle, and through a couple series for either team, it's proved to be so. So Colleyville, 1st and 10 from the 25. Blake Wendler goes in motion, and Gerard Wiley gets a touch to the outside, picks up a couple of yards.
And that plays in our hands of the keys to the game. You have to win up front. That offensive line, they're going to have to do a good job blocking in this game to give Wiley some open holes to run through. We need to establish that run tonight, and that will help our offensive game plan greatly tonight.
So 2nd and 7 after the pickup of 3 to the edge by Gerard Wiley. And Bodie Weaver keeps it himself this time and twists and turns and falls down just across the 30-yard line. So a pickup of 2. Colleyville keeping it on the ground after their first series just lasted 1 play. It was an interception by Bodie Weaver.
I know it's only 2 and 3 yards per carry, but those runs add up, and they get you in third and short situations, which can open up the playbook.
So 3rd and 4. Empty in the backfield. Bodie Weaver has the snap, keeps it himself before 3 Wolves wrestle him down, and Bodie Weaver stops short. That sets up 4th and just about a yard on the play. Ernesto Luengo Chavez, the senior linebacker, was there to apply the final blow on Bodie Weaver to stop him a yard shy of the line to gain, and the offense going to go for it. 4th and 1 on their own 34. Second series of the game in their own territory. Bodie Weaver, handoff to Gerard Wiley, and he has space, a first down and some up to the 42-yard line. And so it pays off for Colleyville. Gerard Wiley, plenty of space here.
That time the defense was pretty much focused on the pass. Gerard Wiley is able to get to the outside and pick up that first down.
So Weaver in the gun, a 1st and 10 from the 42. Weaver looking long for Lucas Sunwall, and he drops it in the bucket, but out of bounds. As Sunwall could not get a foot in the turf here at Newsom Stadium. Beautiful facility, but for Lucas Sunwall, who scored in back-to-back weeks, including a pair of scores last week for the sophomore wideout, unable to corral that one.
Yeah, great route, great throw. He just ran out of room and couldn't get 1 foot in bounds.
3 on the front for the Wolves. They'll run right at it. Gerard Wiley, he gets tackled at the 45-yard line. Making the stop on that occasion, Rayshawn Williams, the 6'4", 205 senior linebacker. Makes it 3rd and 7 from the 45 for the Panthers.
That's the key. Stay on schedule. 3rd and 7. We're near midfield. That means we're going to have at least 2 plays to pick up a first down.
Weaver. Screen out to Gerard Wiley. Out in the flat, he has it. He's forced out of bounds at the 48-yard line, setting up a 4th and 4, and Colleyville going for it on 4th and 1. Earlier in this possession, they'll roll the dice and go for it here just shy of midfield. This opening quarter brought to you by Texas Orthopedic Associates. And now Bodie Weaver dropping back in punt position, and he sends this one deep. Punt continues to roll. Can Colleyville get there in time? They can, and the punt is going to be downed right around the 5-yard line. Lucas Sunwall hops on it, and Colleyville flips the field on the punt. 4th and 4 from their own 48, and they opt to send it deep with Bodie Weaver, who also can do some punting duties himself.
Great punt by Bodie Weaver. A punt down inside the 20, actually inside the 10-yard line. And great hustle by Lucas Sunwall. Didn't think he was going to get there in time, but he did. He saves it. And now Timberview is going to have to drive the length down the field if they want to put up some points on the board.
It was a 3 and out on the opening possession for the Wolves. Miles Davis lined up in his own end zone. He keeps it himself and runs right through the teeth of the Colleyville front. Will Hummer is the one to make the stop, and now they have some breathing room as he gets up to about the 15-yard line. 6.5 to go in quarter number 1, no score. 4th drive of the game. Overall, Colleyville with an interception on drive 1, a punt from about midfield on their second drive. Timberview went 3 and out on their opening series. This is their second and a 2nd and 1 for Mansfield. Timberview, and Colleyville calls a timeout.
Interesting decision. I wonder what that was about.
maybe didn't like what the setup looked like for Colleyville, and they want to use the timeout. 2nd and short. You had them pinned right around the 5-yard line on the punt, and now a 2nd and 1 from the 14-yard line. And Colleyville using the first timeout of the game. And so the senior quarterback, Miles Davis, trots out there. He stands in the gun after his pickup of 9, 2nd and short. He throws it, and it's a hook up there to Chance Collins. He's got room. Collins with an explosive play up to the 38-yard line. And the Wolves going no huddle as they move the chains. Collins on the screen once again. Colleyville reads it well and tackled quickly. Camden Blackson was there to make the stop.
Timberview is looking to go no huddle, and when they get those completions for a loss, it's gonna slow them down. They're gonna have to go back and huddle. So Colleyville is gonna have to make some stops to keep them from going no huddle. They're gonna have to force incompletions and force those negative plays.
So a 2nd and 10 from the 38. Davis takes a deep shot down the field. He has Collins, and a touchdown-saving tackle made in the secondary by Colleyville by Hayden West, but another massive play on this drive for Timberview.
That time Colleyville sent the blitz. It got there a little too late. Davis had the ball out of his hands, and he completes a big pass.
Davis looking to throw once again. He has a man into the end zone, a 25-yard score. The Wolves strike first. It's Lois Grays who gets into the end zone, the junior wide receiver, Lois Grays, for the 25-yard score. And it's 6-0 Timberview. So they go the length of the field, a 95-yard drive with 3 plays going north of 20 yards. And Mansfield Timberview quickly setting up for the point after attempt, and they directly snapped it to Caden Bates. Appeared to be as if they were trying to go for 2.
And on that touchdown, I told you, they were trying to go no huddle. Once they get those completions, they're able to go no huddle. That's why you have to force the incompletions and get those negative plays. They force the big completion. They hurry up to the line of scrimmage. They get another play off. It was good coverage on the throw. Just a perfect ball by Davis.
And Joey Nisbet comes in and makes the stop. So the 2-point try, no good for Mansfield Timberview, as Nisbet comes in to tackle the quarterback, Miles Davis. He led a drive, and he started it off with a run of 9 yards. Chance Collins had a couple of big completions, and then the touchdown there by Lois Grays for the score makes it a 6-0 ball game. 5:19 to go here in quarter number 1. And the Wolves, they strike first in a ball game where they didn't score against the Panthers a year ago. They score on their second drive, and they've got the 6-0 lead.
Yeah, so this is an important drive for the Panthers here when they get the ball back. Got to keep it at a 1-possession game. You want to keep this game close. We have to be able to keep the drives going and orchestrate drives.
We were looking to see both teams really wanting to control the tempo, but at least for the ground game, it was the air that really did the damage on that drive for the Wolves.
3 big passing plays. That's all it took. 3 big passing plays.
So Colleyville will try to respond. Jose Hernandez on the kickoff, and Gerard Wiley picks it up at the 1-yard line. Wiley makes one-man miss and gets just across the 15, and Colleyville going to start at their own 17-yard line. 3rd series for the Panthers. with 5:11 on the clock here in quarter number one. Early impressions of this Colleyville offense, Trammell.
The first drive where the interception, the first play of the game, he had Connor Supercasey wide open down the seam. The look was there. The pressure just got there in time. Hit Bodie Weaver's arm, and it changed the direction of the ball. But after that, it looked a little stale on that second drive. Let's see what they have on drive number 3.
Well, Bodie Weaver being pressured, and he gets rid of it to Gerard Wiley, who makes the catch and runs up the sideline. And a nice play by Colleyville. Weaver, it's a tough throw to make across his body down to the sideline, but it picks up 10 and moves for a first down.
Yeah, the whole time he's looking to the right. He's looking for a read to the right. He couldn't go there, nothing there. He just has to dump it off on the opposite side to Gerard Wiley in the flat, and he picks up a first down.
That's a nice weapon to have to drop it off to. Wendler going in motion, and Bodie Weaver keeping it. And he, as he always does and has many times this year, not an easy player to take down. And Bodie Weaver, the senior quarterback committed to play at UTEP, picks up a 4-yard gain right there, and it's very valuable when they have 2 in the backfield that can keep it on the ground. And Bodie Weaver does just that there.
It is. Normally we see Bodie Weaver pick up those big runs. Tonight, it's going to be more of a grind and pound game. He's going to really work for his yardage today on the ground.
Handoff and no room to go. That's the first look now for Gabe Bass. So Gabe Bass getting involved. He had some action last week when the starters got pulled and had a couple of carries in the first few games, had a receiving touchdown as well against Richland. He's a part of this backfield along with Gerard Wiley. Colin Bennett also had a huge fourth quarter last week.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody got to get in the action, but a 3rd and 8 now for Colleyville from their own 32-yard line. Weaver faces tons of pressure, gets it out in the flat, finds Gabe Bess. And the running backs making moves here on this series. Gabe Bess and Gerard Wiley with a couple of first down receptions out of the backfield.
Yeah, the intention was all focused on the wide receivers. It leaves Gerard Wiley wide open in the flat. He picks up the first down.
Just about 3 minutes to go in quarter number one. Colleyville driving 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line. Got about to midfield on their second drive before they needed to punt. And now Weaver keeping his eyes downfield. He'll tuck and run up the sideline. Continues to go and has a first down. Bodie Weaver moving it. And the Panthers into Timberview territory for the first time tonight as they punted on their last drive just shy of midfield.
So far, not a bad start to the drive at all. This is the first drive where they've sustained some plays and got some momentum going and picked up yardage. So let's see if they can continue.
Weaver on the 1st and 10. Shot over the middle. It's in. Caught by Trevi Preicha into the hands of the junior wide receiver. Another big play for Colleyville. And the first completion to a wide receiver here in this evening's affair, and it goes for a first down. Colleyville approaching the red zone up to the 24-yard line.
Which is very surprising that a receiver hasn't caught a pass today until that last play. That's what I love about this room. You never know who's going to get the ball.
And Trevi Preicha gets it there. He's lined up on the bottom of your screen. Lucas Sunwall as well. And 2 out top. Weaver. Eyes downfield. Now he'll make a move, and he runs, and Bodie Weaver into the end zone. A 23-yard score, and this ball game's tied.
Bodie Weaver does what Bodie Weaver does. He was looking for that fade route on the right side. It wasn't there. He didn't like it. He tucks it. He runs. He picks up a big touchdown run to get Colleyville on the scoreboard. There he is right there. As you see on the replay, he's looking for that fade route on the right side. It's not there. He tucks it. He uses that athleticism, and he's going to get in the end zone, and he even takes a little hit at the end.
The PAT converted by Landon Dressel, and Colleyville takes the lead. 7-6 there on top. 2 and change to go in quarter number 1. We'll be right back. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.
American Power. Texas Drive. Classic Chevrolet. #1 in the world. Limited time. A special selection of new Chevys. More than anyone. All priced below market value. Plus, pre-owned values are up again. We're paying top dollar for trades. You could upgrade to a lower payment. Get started now at ClassicChevrolet.com.
From your first paycheck to your first home, starting your own business or celebrating your retirement, we're here for all of life's important moments. At Simmons Bank, our modern banking solutions make managing your finances effortless and efficient, so you can focus on what matters most. Simmons Bank, proud supporter of the moments that matter. SimmonsBank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all accounts subject to approval.
Back with you on Panther Friday night on Tradio, and a short kickoff by Landon Dressel. And there is a flag. Colleyville coming in hot on the short kick that was caught by Braylon Barnett. Somebody that is very athletic to catch it on that area of the field. One of their top receivers. But Colleyville not wanting to kick it deep, and they're going to get penalized on this one because a fair catch was called and then a hit was applied, or at least that's what appears to be the case. We'll wait a moment to see the call. But Colleyville putting it in the end zone, a 23-yard rushing touchdown by Bodie Weaver, his second rushing touchdown of the year, leading this team in rushing, and now a pair of scores tied with Gerard Wiley for the most rushing touchdowns on the team. And a nice response for Colleyville after not much doing on their first 2 drives. They get the backs involved to move the chains. And now the Wolves, they'll try to follow up a really good-looking touchdown drive the last time they had the ball. And they'll have good field position starting at their own 45 after the kick-catch interference call adds on to the end of what was already a short kickoff. Miles Davis looking to get out of trouble. Loyes Grays, who had the touchdown, he has a first down there, a pickup of 15 before Hayden West is able to make the tackle.
That time, Demarius Logan was right there in the pocket. He forced Davis to step up. That was all Davis on that play. He uses athleticism. He steps up in the pocket. He finds his open receiver, and they pick up a big chunk. That's 4 big plays so far in this first quarter in the passing game that the Panthers have given up. They got to tighten it up a little bit, and they got to get home in the backfield.
First look of the night for Cedric Portley, the running back, and he loses a yard. Nehemiah Oleyuwola pushed him back even more yards after that, but the forward progress will push him back to the 40-yard line, 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1. So they were ready for the first run of the night for Cedric Portley.
Those are the type of plays you need on first down because they're getting chunk yardage. You want them facing as many, you want them to see 2nd and long, 3rd and long because they're so explosive.
And Davis, he gets stopped up in the backfield. Colleyville with a huge sack coming in. Isaiah Omar for the sack, and the sophomore defensive lineman pushes Mansfield Timberview back a mile. It'll be 3rd and 20.
Isaiah Omar getting back in the backfield again. He just sheds his block in the interior, gets to the quarterback, and now it's 3rd and long. Those are the big plays you need on 2nd down to get this Timberview offense off the field.
His get off very impressive, and he blows through 2 offensive linemen on that play. A short hit in the slant, offering some opportunity here all the way up to the 35-yard line on the catch for Braylon Barnett. And that'll make it 4th and manageable here for Mansfield Timberview. A huge win on that down after facing 3rd and 20. They'll have a 4th and about 6 yards to go, and they'll have some extra time to think about it as well as we're coming to the close of the opening quarter.
yeah, you win big on second down, but you got to be ready for those screen passes and those short slant routes on third down. That's pretty much all they can really get. They're really just trying to pick up some yardage to ping you deep when they punt the ball, but you give up a big gain there. Now they have a fourth and manageable, and they're in no man's land, so they're definitely going for it on fourth down.
End of the first quarter. We will be right back. You're watching Panther Friday Night on Tradio.
Do you know Carolina flavor? That's it. It's Southern, but with a little oomph in it. Now you know. The Carolina legend is here. If you know, you bow.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Do you know what makes
Back with you, Panther Friday Night on Tradio. Miles Davis, the quarterback. Fourth down, 6 yards to go from the 35-yard line. And he steps up, looks down the field, and gets stopped up. Colleyville all over it on fourth down. They force the turnover on downs. Camden Blackson, the linebacker, with another big tackle there on the quarterback. And that is a turnover on downs. Colleyville will take over.
Yep, and it starts with winning on those early downs. First down, they stuff a run. Second down, Isaiah Omar gets the big sack, and they face the 3rd and 20. They did pick up some chunk yardage on third down, but that time on fourth down, you got to pick it up. And they just weren't able to convert. The pressure gets there again. A wonderful pursuit by this Colleyville Heritage Panthers defense. Again, we keep saying it every single week, and they just continue.
Gerard Wiley motioning in the backfield, and a flag flies. Opening action here in the second quarter saw Mansfield Timberview turn it over on downs. Colleyville getting penalized. And they'll back up 5 yards on the false start. 7-6, Colleyville leading. Went down 6-0 after a Loyce Gray's touchdown. But then Bodie Weaver ran for a 23-yard score, and the PAT put him on top by a point. Weaver moves in the pocket, throws a dart to the sideline, and it is a good catch there for Colleyville. The first reception for the leading wideout this season for the Panthers, Connor Supacase.
Yep, no surprise there. Bodie Weaver gets out the pocket, throws a tough pass on the run. He shows you that arm strength right there. Connor Supacase, he comes back on a back shoulder fade, and he catches it.
So Connor Supacase now over 200 yards receiving on the year. And Gerard Wiley could not find the edge. He was chopped down by Caden Washington, the defensive back, coming in to make a really nice play. If he slipped off Washington, would have had plenty of room, but he makes the solo stout, no gain, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, that was a big tackle there because there was a lot of yardage coming up if he doesn't make that play.
So 3rd and 8 for Colleyville here early in the second quarter. And Weaver keeps his eyes downfield, throws one toward the sideline, and it's incomplete. Looking on the far side for Trevi Prycia, and that sets up a 4th and 8 for Colleyville, and they'll send out the special teams unit.
Weaver had all day to throw the ball. He did want to tuck and run. They had the run covered pretty well, and it was also great coverage in the secondary. There was just nowhere for Weaver to go with the football. He tries to get it there on the sideline, but it wasn't enough room. Couldn't get 1 foot in bounds, and they couldn't pick up that 3rd down.
And the whistle gets blown dead before the play. And it's Colleyville getting called for another self-inflicted wound. They'll back up. Moving early on that play. We'll make it a 4th and 13 after the 5-yard penalty. So Dressel back to punt on this 4th and 13. And he sends this one off, hits down around the 40, goes out around the 32-yard line, so no opportunity to return that one. And so the Wolves will come back out on offense. Colleyville leading in this one 7-6. Bodie Weaver, after 6 total touchdowns, 5 passing and 1 rushing last week, has a rushing score in this game from 23 yards out. And then a converted extra point ended up giving Colleyville the lead after the Wolves. They struck first on a really impressive drive, went 95 yards down the field. After Bodie Weaver's punt pinned him at the 5-yard line, but Loyace Gray's 25-yard score for him, but no good on the conversion. Throw over the middle, and it's caught by Chance Collins up to the 45-yard line. And a pickup of about 13 yards will move the chains.
And a lot of their big chunk plays are coming down that middle. That time it was a slant, beats his man in coverage. The ball was thrown a little behind him. If that ball is put where it needs to be, he could have probably picked up some more yardage.
Miles Davis on the high snap eventually hands it off on that option play, and continuing to fight for yards is the Wolves running back on his first look of the night. The man out of the backfield ends up having a great gain. That's Jacoby Easter, the junior. Plays a little bit of wide receiver as well. This second quarter brought to you by Compass Church, as the Wolves pick up a first down. They've got a 1st and 10 from the Panthers' 39-yard line. Another set with 2 in the backfield again, and Davis keeping it this time. Looks to throw it away. He eventually does. All the pressure was coming off the edge there from Colleyville's Demarius Logan. And somehow Miles Davis got rid of it to avoid a big loss.
Yeah, that time on that fake, Demarius Logan was not fooled at all. He completely blows the play away, or blows the play up, and Davis just has to throw that ball away to avoid a negative loss on a sack.
And Davis looking to get out of the way again. Isaiah Omar wraps him up from behind. The defensive lineman with really an acrobatic tackle for no gain on the play, perhaps a yard picked up. Omar with a couple of huge plays today, but now he's down on the turf, being tended to. Really had to twist and turn to try to make that tackle. And now the standout sophomore defensive lineman seems to be shaken up on the play. Isaiah Omar, number 57 for the Colleyville Heritage Panthers, after making a really nice play. You hate to see him down, and hoping that he is okay.
Yeah, definitely hope everything is okay. He's such a great player. He's only a sophomore, and he is huge to this football team, huge to this defensive line. I mean, he makes plays in and out every single week. I mean, we can't speak enough of this kid. He's got 2 more years left to play. After this season, he's going to be so exciting to watch.
And really, he's been the team's best pass rusher, really, with him and Demarius Logan this season. Already with a sack tonight, makes a really nice play there by the line of scrimmage to set up a 3rd and 9, and really good sign to see Isaiah Omar making himself, by his own power, jogging across the way to the Colleyville sideline. And so we'll keep an eye out on number 57. He's been a two-way player, playing right tackle and defensive end on both sides of the line throughout this season for the standout sophomore. But now a 3rd and 9. Portley going in motion, and the pass rush still gets home for Colleyville. Joey Nisbet on the blitz puts Miles Davis to the turf, and that's the 2nd sack of the night for Colleyville.
Hey, every time you send Joey Nisbet on the blitz, he's going to get home every single time. That is like sack number 4 on the season for Joey Nisbet. He is very disruptive. He is one of the best pass rushers at that middle linebacker position when he is blitzing the quarterback. That time, he just gets right through the line, and there was no time for Davis to throw that ball.
And so the Wolves will punt this one off. Good hang time on this one, and it bounces. A friendly Wolves roll all the way to the 21-yard line. And so Colleyville, despite giving Mansfield Timberview some good field position multiple times throughout this game, the short kickoff after the touchdown, after a penalty, had them start at the 45, ultimately have them punted away, and it's much thanks to a huge sack, the 2nd sack of the evening for Colleyville, there by Joey Nisbet. The linebacker blitz has certainly looked good, and the linebackers, an area of the defense Jerry Edwards primarily focuses on, and it works out to give Colleyville the football back. Bodie Weaver puts it right into the chest of Gerard Wiley. He tries to use a stiff arm, and then after the play, the pigskin popped out on the turf, but the official quickly rules that he was down, and it works out as a solid gain running right up the gut for Gerard Wiley.
Yeah, Wiley had a great hole that he ran through right up the gut, and he picks up that 1st down for Colleyville.
Bodie Weaver keeps it himself this time. It takes, as it usually does, a couple of Wolves to bring him down. Eventually, their standout linebacker, Ernesto Loengo Chavez, makes the tackle. 3rd and 4 coming up for Colleyville from their own 27. 7:45 and ticking here in quarter number 2. Weaver with the snap. He rolls out, throws sideline, and he got it. Nice catch out on the sideline for Colleyville. A clutch catch for Landon Dressel.
Yeah, they're getting those throws right there at that sideline. Another tough throw and another tough catch made on the sideline. This time, we were able to get both feet in bounds. Well, in high school, you only need one, but he was able to get both on that play.
Landon Dressel, huge reception to get Colleyville up to the 40-yard line. Weaver keeps it here, looks downfield, has Lucas Sunwall, and Lucas Sunwall, a contested catch down to the 25-yard line.
Oh, man, nice route by Lucas Sunwall. As you take a look at the replay, Bodie Weaver gets out of the pocket, makes another nice throw down the sideline, and Colleyville's offense is rolling.
Weaver keeping his eyes downfield. Plenty of time in the pocket here, and a wide open man for a touchdown. It's Landon Dressel, a 26-yard score, and Colleyville adds on a beauty. Bodie Weaver, plenty of time in the pocket, and he makes the Wolves pay.
When you give him all that time in the pocket, he's going to make you pay 99.9% of the times, and that time you saw it on that play right there.
So Landon Dressel, after receiving the touchdown, and he was wide open.
Wide open.
And Bodie Weaver, hey, I mean, he could do a lot back there, standing on both feet, no pressure coming. He spots up and dots up Landon Dressel, and the point after converted by Landon Dressel. Landon Dressel has a first down catch on that drive, a touchdown catch. He adds on the PAT as well, and Colleyville leading 14-6. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.
American Power. Texas Drive. Classic Chevrolet. #1 in the world. Limited time. A special selection of new Chevys. More than anyone. All priced below market value. Plus, pre-owned values are up again. We're paying top dollar for trades. You could upgrade to a lower payment. Get started now at ClassicChevrolet.com.
Colleyville ahead 14-6. Panther Friday night on Tradio alongside Panther Friday night on Tradio alongside Tramel Jeffers. I'm Will Connerly. Landon Dressel just caught a 26-yard touchdown. Colleyville extends their lead. They're up 14-6 with 7:03 left in quarter number 2. A really solid drive, and another short kickoff here by Landon Dressel, caught at the 22-yard line. Looking to cut against the grain and still dancing around, cutting up to about the 30, and some more space being broken away, and a massive return. Looked like nothing was doing, but then eventually breaking out and having the nice return, Davin Hill, who makes a nice play.
Davin Hill, my goodness, it's like he was playing Madden. I mean, he's just hitting the joystick all kinds of directions. He pretty much made nothing out of something. He was gonna get tackled. Colleyville just doesn't do a good job of getting him on the ground, and he puts on a display of nice moves, and he picks up great field position for the Wolves offense as they start on this next drive.
Davin Hill, one of the highest rated players on this team. He's in the secondary, a cornerback, and kind of like Hayden West, another 3-star in his own right. He's committed to UTSA, so Hill and West, who are competing against each other right now. Hill, who just had that return, and Hayden West, the standout in the secondary for Colleyville. They're both heading to UTSA next season to continue their football career. Of course, Chance Collins, the most notable in terms of prospects for Mansfield Timberview. He's a Texas A&M commit in the secondary as well. And that's not to mention Jarasi Martin, who has a pair of picks, including picking off Bodie Weaver on the first play of the game. But it hasn't affected Weaver too much. He's already accounted for a pair of touchdowns in response to throwing his first interception of the season in the district road opener on his first pass on the first play. He's responded nicely from that, and Colleyville leading 14-6. However, like you said, that Davin Hill return sets up Mansfield Timberview at Colleyville's 48-yard line. And so Davis, quick hit to the outside. It's complete there on the catch to Braylon Barnett. His third reception tonight. Another Colleyville defensive lineman. It's Isaiah Omar once again down in the backfield. So great news to see him out there again. But again, it appears to see him shaken up. If you're just joining us on the last series with Colleyville on defense, Isaiah Omar made a great tackle on Miles Davis, but he was shaken up on the play, went to the sideline, back out there on that play, and on a 6-yard gain when he applied some pressure, he's down on the turf once again. So hoping Isaiah Omar is okay, and he's being tended to once again out on the field towards midfield.
Yeah, hope everything is okay. Hopefully he's able to get up on his own power again and jog off the field like he did on that last series.
And you wonder as well if it was something to have to do with being shaken up the first time, trying to go back out there. But for Isaiah Omar, the training staff giving some attention to the sophomore. And we get another look at the play. Well, perhaps not. 6:46 to go in the second. Isaiah Omar It appeared to be a lower leg injury the first time.
Yeah.
And it seems to be the same thing with himself making his way across, limping off with some assistance, but making his way slowly, as you see toward the top of the screen, back to the Colleyville sideline, Jermel.
He's pretty gimpy, Will. Kind of got rolled up. One of the offensive linemen for Timberview kind of rolled up on his leg, and, yeah, that one's going to sting.
Miles Davis gets rid of it quickly, but it sails above the intended target, Loyce Grays. Loyce Grays had that touchdown reception, the lone score of the night for Mansfield Timberview. They struck first, but Colleyville with 14 unanswered since, and here's a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, Davis really isn't in a rhythm. Although he's completed some big passes, it's been a lot of balls that he's thrown behind the receiver, and that time, way too high for the receiver. That was a simple completion, just threw it too high.
And here's the 3rd down carry. It's going to be shy of the sticks, as they handed it off to Cedric Portley. The high snap right at the last minute. Hands it off to Portley. And it's a big 4th down upcoming, 4th and 1. Wolves on plus territory. They're going to go for it. And handoff here, and Colleyville swarming to the football. It's going to be right at the line to gain.
And that time, Colleyville does a good job of setting the edge. We just miss a tackle, and all Timberview needed was just 1 yard, and they were able to get it with that one miss.
The sticks have not moved just yet.
Oh, they're
going to do
it.
official timeout and measure it. Now, it's not the NFL this year where they have the electronic measurement. However, they are going to measure it. Davin Hill, who, as we just mentioned a moment ago, started this drive off with a great return back in the backfield as well on that play, giving it to him, another talented guy with the ball in his hands for this Wolves team. As we mentioned, a 3-star recruit in the secondary heading to UTSA. And they are measuring right now. We will see what the verdict is. Will Colleyville force another turnover on downs?
No, he got it.
Nope. It's a 1st down, as you see right there. A length of the football just beyond the line to gain. You just need the tip of the football past that line to gain. And it's good for a 1st down, and they had about a full length of the football.
Yeah, it looked good from up here. I was really surprised that they went out and measured it. I thought he clearly got it. But you do have to make sure, just in case. This is a big game here.
So Davis, he's lined up in the gun, Portley next to him. And they'll hand it off to the running back, who has a nice hole. He gets to the 2nd level. It takes multiple Panthers to wrestle down the running back, Blackson, eventually in there on the stop. Portley north of 200 yards and 2 touchdowns through 3 weeks, and he's moving it on the ground here as well, getting about 60 a game. And here's Davis. Hit to the sideline. He finds Braylon Barnett. Hayden West applies the hit, but not before a quality gain on the reception for the Wolves' leading receiver and the junior wideout, who's north of 60 yards a game. Picks up 6 yards. 2nd and 4 upcoming. Again, this 2nd quarter brought to you by Compass Church. We thank Compass Church and all our great sponsors here for Panther Friday night on Tradio. 2nd and 4. Wolves just shy of the red zone. Davis dropping back. Pressure comes, getting rid of it for a score. Touchdown for Timberview. And they strike back. Braylon Barnett with the score from 22 yards out. And Davis with a pretty ball.
Yeah, it was a nice ball. He had plenty of time to throw the ball. The receiver beats his man in coverage, and he got a chance to get this game within one.
PAT converted. So we may go back to Mansfield Timberview's first touchdown of the game. They take a 6-0 lead on Aloysius Gray's touchdown reception. And it's interesting because neither team has needed the red zone to score touchdowns in this game. All touchdowns have been north of 20 yards. Landon Dressel for Colleyville and Bodie Weaver on a touchdown run. And then he hooks up with Dressel on a touchdown pass. And then there, Davis, he throws for a touchdown to Grays on the first drive. Colleyville scores 14 unanswered, and then he finds Braylon Barnett open. Pressure was coming off the edge, but as you mentioned, Davis, he did a good job stepping up in the pocket and had a wide open man, and you brought this up, and it's going to be interesting to see how this game progresses. Colleyville's strongest part of their defense is that front seven. However, it feels as though in this game, all the yardage has come in between the hash marks against Colleyville. They haven't had anything on the perimeter much tonight.
Nothing.
But they have really gashed Colleyville recently. As a huge burst of speed up to the 40-yard line on the ensuing kickoff return for Colleyville. And we'll finish up that thought, of course, when Colleyville goes back out on defense. But that is something to watch. The middle of the field is what's been open for Mansfield Timberview, and they've been taking it, and they did right there on the touchdown pass to Braylon Barnett.
Yeah, those. Yep. That RPO that they're doing, it's leaving that linebacker confused, and it leaves a receiver wide open down the middle, whether it's a slant route or if they're going right up the seam.
1st and 10 for Colleyville. Bodie Weaver throws a dime to Trevi Preicha. He paid a price as well at the end of that, getting hit after he launches it. But Trevi Preicha moves up to the 35. What a great ball. Bodie Weaver staying in the pocket.
Oh, yeah, that time he just stays poised. He stays calm in the pocket, throws a dime right down the middle, and Trevi Preicha comes up with a big grab right down the middle. We spoke about the middle. Colleyville has been killing down the middle as well.
And now Weaver hands it off to Gerard Wiley, and a massive hit right there on a gain of a yard. Gerard Wiley, he just gets absolutely swallowed up, and a hard hit by the tough running back who picks up a yard, and he paid a lofty price.
He did.
2nd and 9. Weaver, 3-step drop, has to move the pocket. Still looking up the field, and Weaver, how does he get out of the traffic there? Stays on his feet, continues to bounce to the outside, and flips down at the 5-yard line. Bodie Weaver, he's been a magician, and he shows it right there. Escapes the pocket and powers forward inside the 5.
Bodie Weaver, oh my goodness. Given his Fran Tarkenton impression, if you're familiar with Fran Tarkenton back in the 60s for the Minnesota Vikings, that was him right there on that play, just running around in the pocket. Looks like nothing was there. He gets past the defensive line, and he picks up a massive first down and gets the Panthers in the red zone.
First down for Colleyville. Goal to go from the 4-yard line. And the Panthers going to burn their second timeout of the half to try to set up what they want this red zone offense to look like. Mantramel. Bodie Weaver, he has been the most explosive runner this year for Colleyville. And I think at least right now, that's the most impressive play for Colleyville here this season, because it's a 1-point game on the road, district play, need it, he kept his eyes downfield as well. That's the most fascinating thing about Bodie Weaver is he is going through his progressions, and he went through all of them, still had nothing, and it looked like a big loss or throw the ball away. And he says, no, I'm going to run up to the 4-yard line. And unbelievable run by Bodie Weaver. And he just, I mean, that's devastating for the Wolves. You have Colleyville where you want him. Coverage was great. Nobody was open. Pressure was good too. But Bodie Weaver was a man that they could not bring down before he gets all the way up to the 4-yard line. Just a brilliant run by the quarterback.
No, it was fantastic. And that's just one thing that's been so special about Bodie Weaver this season is his ability to run the football, whether it's the design runs or you see him just make something out of nothing out of the pocket. That's what's transformed him from being one of the best players in the district to now we're talking about one of the best players in the DFW area.
Weaver keeps it himself here, and he'll have his second rushing touchdown of the evening.
He's making his presence known running the football. He's letting you know he can get physical, and he can get in there and take those hits. That time, oh, what a nice ball fake. He keeps it. He runs it right down the hole in the middle, and he picks up a 4-yard touchdown. Another rushing touchdown for Bodie Weaver, his third on the season.
And second tonight, one came from 23 yards out. That one from point blank, 4 yards out. The PAT converted for Colleyville. Landon Dressel splits the uprights. And after a game that saw 10 total points a year ago, we've got a shootout going on here in the first half. 3:41 to go in the second quarter. In Colleyville, after putting up over 70 points a week ago, even against a stingy Wolves defense, they've got 21 on the board with 3:41 to go in quarter number 2. And it's Bodie Weaver, the topic of conversation once again. He has been brilliant. He runs you down to the 4 and punches it in himself as well. And that was one of the keys to the game. And I think that, Trammell, when you broke this down in our pregame show, all of these things have contributed to Colleyville having success. Bodie Weaver in rhythm, check mark. Defensive line pressure, couple sacks, check mark. Limit the home run ball on defense. Whatever you wanted to define as a home run ball. I mean, against Richland, Colleyville did let up a couple of 60-plus yard touchdowns. And there has been a couple of really big plays over the middle tonight, something we talked about Colleyville on the last drive. But 2 of the 3 keys to the game, Colleyville certainly unlocking and doing at a high level, at least from our perspective and vantage point of what we thought was going to be important, and it's proving to be the case here in this one.
Yes, absolutely. And one thing that we talked about last week was, can they carry this momentum over into the next week? You know the starters sat in that fourth quarter. Is that really going to mess with them? Is that going to mess up their rhythm? Well, we're seeing tonight, no, it had no effect at all so far in this first half.
So 21-13, Colleyville has the lead alongside Trammell Jeffers. I'm Will Connerly. Thanks for being with us tonight. Panther Friday night here on Tradio. And for as well as Colleyville has played, it's just a one-score game still. Miles Davis steps up in the pocket, throws it over the middle. Braylon Barnett is there, but it's incomplete. Ball hits the turf first. And Davis, again, over the middle, Trammell. It's interesting to see he's finding the soft spot in the Colleyville defense over the middle.
He is. That time the pressure forces him to get out of the pocket. That time he kind of had to throw it across his body and make a tough throw. Wasn't able to get enough air on that ball.
So 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line, and Colleyville swarming on the run, and it's going to be a stop there. Dax Hebeson coming in on the tackle. First time We've said his name tonight after the rush by Cedric Portley doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that time the interior gets off their blocks. They get to the ball carrier. Portley has nowhere to go. He tries to get it off the edge, and boom, there's Joey Nisbet right there to clean it up.
And a penalty against Mansfield Timberview on that play as well. However, Colleyville declines it, so it'll make it 3rd and 14 after Nisbet and Dax Hebison pursues for that tackle for loss. 3rd and 14, 3:20 to go. Colleyville still with a timeout, trying to get the ball back. Davis throws sideline. It's high, and it is caught, but nowhere to go after the reception is made by Lois Grays. Really nice play on the coverage by the sophomore Eli Woolery, and that'll set up 4th down. Colleyville with 1 timeout in the bank. They're going to get the ball back with 2 minutes and change with a timeout and the 2-minute timeout. So an opportunity as the defense comes up big. The punt is off. Fair catch is called right at midfield. So Colleyville at the 50-yard line. Up 21-13, trying to find a way. 2:34 left. And as we just mentioned, the 2-minute timeout, along with a timeout at the bank, Colleyville, plenty of time to try to add on the score.
Yeah, this is a very key drive right here. Colleyville has an opportunity to punish the Wolves here and go up 2 scores. That would be huge for this team going into halftime.
It's a run on the first play, and Gerard Wiley can't get anything. Give him a yard on the play. And so Colleyville may let this one run to the 2-minute. And set themselves up on the other side. 5 seconds left. Oh no, Colleyville getting another playoff. And that is almost a huge play there. Lucas Sunwall, outstretched fingertips, couldn't corral that one. Weaver led him with the spiral over the middle, but those two couldn't connect. A little bit of a wobbling throw. And Sunwall unable to gather that one. So we've reached the 2-minute timeout, Trammell.
Yeah, Weaver missed on that one, and he knows he missed the big one. Sunwall was wide open. Like you said, it was a wobbly throw. He couldn't corral it. That would have been a massive chunk to pick up going into the 2-minute timeout. And we would be close to the red zone right now. But now we're going to come out of the 2-minute warning or the 2-minute timeout facing the 3rd and 9. So this is a crucial 3rd and 9 right here if you really want to punish the Wolves. If you really want to go up 2 scores right before half, it is important, especially on the road in a hostile environment.
And for Colleyville as well, just trying to put any points on the board, certainly in the mindset. But Trammell, on the other side of this as well, Mansfield Timberview's perspective is they have all 3 timeouts. It's 3rd and 9. They get a stop, and they can get the ball back before halftime as well. And this is some of the end of half game strategies that sometimes can determine the results of the game. So 3rd and 9. Colleyville has it. We're just across midfield at the 49. Brings Gerard Wiley in motion. Weaver, sideline, and it sails beyond the reach of Sunwall once again. The intended target right around the 30-yard line. And those two couldn't hook up. It would have been a gain of 20. but well out of the reach of his wide receiver. And so Colleyville's going to punt with the dangerous David Hill back to return. With 1:50 left here in the second. Colleyville started with the football in this game. So if you're Mansfield Timberview, you're trying to parlay the end of the first half with the beginning of the third quarter. And here's Hill on the return, up to about the 35-yard line. So another nifty return by the talented athlete headed to UTSA in 3-star. So 1:39 and 3 timeouts for Timberview. Plenty of time for them. Their most impressive drive of the evening came on a 95-yard drive. They were backed up on a Bodie Weaver punt. Didn't matter for Miles Davis and company. But they've got time now. 21-13, Colleyville has the lead. Davis looking to throw, and he does not have a completion. Will Hummer was there in the coverage on the incompletion to Grays once again on the sideline.
And it looked like he almost had a pick there. Davis gets flushed out the pocket. He rolls to his left, tries to complete a pass, and it was just dropped.
Yeah, Woldery and Hummer were there, but indeed just unable to haul it in. 2nd and 10 from the 37. Davis, sideline, and once again, can't connect. Camden Blackson is there. It's interesting that Mansfield Timberview, they've got all 3 timeouts. They've worked the middle of the field all game long, and they're forcing the ball now outside the numbers where they haven't had as much success. But they don't really need to because they've got all those timeouts left, and it's led to back-to-back incompletions.
Exactly. So now they're in an interesting situation. You're leaving plenty of time on the clock if you don't pick up a first down here.
Davis, middle, and oh, what a beauty. That is the Wolves with a massive play caught there by Chance Collins. Right when they need it, Collins comes up with a massive catch.
Yep, Collins right down the middle on the slant, picks up a huge first down for the Wolves.
Now it's a touch to Hill. Or check that, that's Braylon Barnett who had that big touchdown earlier on the catch. But 65 seconds left here in the second quarter. And Colleyville trying to keep the Wolves out of the end zone before halftime. Mansfield Timberview to start with the ball again here after halftime to begin the third quarter. 2nd and 6. Ball's at the 39. Davis in the gun next to Portley, the running back. And the snap is low. It's a bounce pass snap to the quarterback, Davis. And he is stopped up by Joey Nisbet. And a timeout's going to be called now by Timberview, who, avoiding disaster right there, is the Wolves.
Yeah, that time it's a low snap. Davis is lucky to pick it up and even pick up positive yardage. It didn't look like it looked like it was going to be in harm's way and Colleyville was going to have a chance to force a turnover, but Davis was fortunate to pick that ball up and pick up some positive yardage.
And it was actually Demarius Logan who's credited with that tackle. Nisbet came in on the blitz and forced some pressure, and pressure comes quickly when the ball gets put on the turf. And then Demarius Logan as well, just one arm, his strength. He's able to start the movement down by Miles Davis and then Nisbet as well. But Demarius Logan comes in and makes that tackle, and he is such a huge weapon for this team. And we should mention one of the top defensive linemen for Colleyville and Isaiah Omar had to come out earlier in this game. So Demarius Logan's out there on the edge alongside Will Kennedy now, the two defensive ends. as Davis tries to pop it over the middle. Camden Blackson, his linebacker is going to be tested in coverage today, and it's incomplete. That makes it 4th and 8 from the 41-yard line with 55 seconds left. And a 21-13 ball game. So Colleyville, one timeout left. You see Demarius Logan on the screen. He just made a play moments ago.
He's about to make another one here. I'm calling it.
4th down. Logan pressuring, throwing, and it's incomplete. So Colleyville will take over. Davis couldn't make the throw across his body, and they'll have it at their own 41 with 49 seconds left and a timeout.
Wow. That is a crucial miss on that play. Davis is going to be in the pocket. He's going to roll to his left. He has a wide open receiver who has a lot of field to run. If he is on target with that pass, that was going to be a big chunk play, and that was going to get the Wolves in the red zone. But that time, Davis was just off on the throw. That is a crucial miss for the Wolves and an absolute gift for the Colleyville Heritage Panthers.
And it was Dalen Hill as well, who, if he had that space, he's probably taking it for 6. 21-13, Colleyville leads. 49 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Weaver escapes some pressure and just shovels it off to Gerard Wiley. The ball trickles out of bounds. It's an incompletion. Always impressive when a quarterback can make a shovel pass like that complete, but it hit the turf before Gerard Wiley could have anything. And it makes it 2nd and 10. 42 seconds left. Again, Colleyville still with a timeout. Any type of points here would certainly be a big win after the defense forces another turnover on downs here in the first half.
Absolutely. This is a crucial drive here for the Panthers.
Bodie Weaver moving around, finds a man at the 50-yard line. That's Landon Dressel, and he's off to the races again up to the 35-yard line. Landon Dressel, he's a weapon in the receiving game tonight.
Oh.
A flag is down on the play.
Man, let's see what the flag is.
Offside, so that's going to be declined. Colleyville with the clock stopped up to...
Yep, and Bodie Weaver, he just rolls to his right. He keeps his eyes downfield. He finds his man short. And Dressel just does the rest with the juke moves.
Dressel already with a big touchdown catch tonight. He's made 3 extra points kicking. All-around weapon for Colleyville. Weaver, less than a minute to go in the half. Looking toward the sideline, Gerard Wiley has it. And speaking of Dressel, a touchdown catch, 3 big grabs tonight and 3 PATs. You may ask him to convert a field goal here if they can get some more yards as well before halftime.
Yeah, he's got a career high 39 yards. He kicked a 38-yarder last year, and then his career high is 39. So he's made 2 big kicks in last season. So you want to get to about the 20-yard line, pick up another 5 to 10 yards to make him comfortable.
Handoff to Wiley, and Wiley able to get out of bounds here. And so Colleyville, couple of things in play. 3rd down, 18 seconds left. It's 3rd and 1. Colleyville up to the 26. They have an opportunity really to run the ball and set up the field goal because you're not probably going to get another playoff. You do have the timeout. You could spike it, or you could take a shot to the end zone here. And Weaver takes it himself, Coming up the field, Bodie Weaver. He wants more. Dives for the pylon.
And he got it.
It's a touchdown. 26 yards out. And Bodie Weaver puts it in for 6 just before halftime.
Oh, my goodness. We were talking about kicking a field goal and going up 11. Bodie Weaver says, no, forget that. I want 6. He takes it himself. You see it right here. There was nothing that he wanted when he was looking for the throw. He just goes right down that crease in the middle through his offensive line. He bobs and weaves a couple of tackles, and then he finishes the rest with a dive to the end zone and hits the pylon. And he puts the Colleyville Heritage Panthers up 2 scores, and now we are up 15 points. What a drive. What a play by Bodie Weaver. Just a drive ago, we were talking about that was his best play of the season. That was the best play of the season right there for sure.
Bodie Weaver has added a couple of massive highlights to his reel tonight, and that one certainly takes the cake. Bodie Weaver rushing for a score. Wow, he has been impressive tonight, and we thought he was impressive last week. He is probably topping that, and he had 6 touchdowns a week ago. And Bodie Weaver having some type of first half. He's run for 2 scores, each from 20-plus yards out.
Yeah, both from 20 yards out.
He's thrown for a touchdown to Landon Dressel. He's rushed for another touchdown from 4 yards out.
Yep.
So you do the math. Bodie Weaver, 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Just 2 shy of the career high he set last week.
And on pace to shatter it if he can replicate a similar performance in the second half as well. So Landon Dressel and Bodie Weaver, that has been the offense tonight, really, when you think about it. Trevi Price has had some catches. A couple of targets for Connor Supacasey as well. But Landon Dressel and Bodie Weaver. Bodie Weaver with a 23-yard score, a 26-yard score just a moment ago. 2 acrobatic touchdown runs, and that's not counting the 25-plus yard run he had to set up another touchdown run he had from 4 yards out. So 3 rushing touchdowns for Bodie Weaver and 1 in the air to Landon Dressel. And so Colleyville, 28-13, they have the lead, and they did not want to settle for a field goal. No, Bodie Weaver just running it himself, thought, just going to get a few yards, call a timeout, and kick a field goal. But nobody could get QB1 down to the carpet. And Bodie Weaver with a powerful run. Timberview takes a knee, and we have reached halftime here, Trammell.
Oh, my goodness. What a first half by the Panthers. I mean, they just continued their momentum from last week. And this is a quality opponent. This is a district championship caliber game right here. These are teams that are going to be competing for first place in the district. This game right here has so many aspirations for it right here. And Colleyville has brought their A game so far in that first half. I mean, wonderful. I can't say enough about what I saw from both sides of the ball. 28-13, we're up 15. Perfect start. We just got to finish it. That's it. 20 more minutes. That's it.
So the defense forces a turnover on downs. Colleyville, they got the ball back, forcing a punt, Trammell, just on the plus side of the 2-minute timeout. Couldn't do anything with it, had to punt it away, but then Colleyville's defense comes back, gives them the ball back with about a minute left, and they go 59 yards down the field, only need 5 plays and a 26-yard touchdown run for Bodie Weaver tonight. I mean, it's been impressive for Colleyville here in this first half. We'll go through it for you just here right now to give you some of the numbers in the first half, because if you are just joining us, you'll want to hear this right now. We'll do it on the backside, but we just want to tell you after the first play was an interception, a man's responded with 4 touchdowns. We'll be right back.
Do you know Carolina flavor? That's it. It's Southern, but with a little oomph in it. Now you know. The Carolina legend is here. If you know, you bow.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Do you know what makes a biscuit a Bo biscuit? There it is. Small batch biscuits, just minutes from the oven, with crunchy hand-breaded chicken. Now you know. The Carolina legend is here. If you know, you bow.
American Power. Texas Drive. Classic Chevrolet. #1 in the world. Limited time. A special selection of new Chevys. More than anyone. All priced below market value. Plus, pre-owned values are up again. We're paying top dollar for trades. You could upgrade to a lower payment. Get started now at ClassicChevrolet.com.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
From your first paycheck to your first home, starting your own business or celebrating your retirement, we're here for all of life's important moments. At Simmons Bank, our modern banking solutions make managing your finances effortless and efficient, so you can focus on what matters most. Simmons Bank, proud supporter of the moments that matter. SimmonsBank.com, member FDIC.
back with you on Panther Friday night on Tradio. 28-13, the score at halftime. Colleyville leading. I'm Will Connerly alongside Tremel Jeffers. And Tremel, some numbers from the first half for Colleyville. They put up 312 yards in the first half. I mean, we start with Bodie Weaver. 4 touchdowns accounted for in the first half and 290 total yards for Bodie Weaver. 183 passing and 107 rushing. So 290 total yards, 4 total touchdowns for the Panthers quarterback. And when we look at the numbers, what stands out to you, Tremel, here in this first half, 28-13 Colleyville on top?
The total yards, of course, 312 total yards in only the first half. And we're talking about a game for positioning in the standings later on down the line. This game is going to have key implications on where both teams are at the end of the season. And another thing that jumped out to me was Bodie Weaver's 107 rushing yards. Colleyville has 129 rushing yards. Bodie Weaver has 107 of those, and he has 3 touchdowns on the ground. 3 on the ground and 1 passing. I mean, Bodie Weaver, he could steal the whole halftime show. He's been fantastic. I said it earlier. The difference between him this year and last year is last year he was one of the best players in the district, if not the best player in the district. This year, not only is he the best player in the district, but we're talking about one of the best players in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He is amazing. He is a great talent.
Well, some more for the numbers in the first half. Colleyville had 13 first downs. Mansfield Timberview had 11. 312 total yards for Colleyville, just 204 for Mansfield. But here is the biggest thing, and I don't know how big of a factor it'll be moving forward. However, it's a huge reason why Colleyville's up 2 scores. They hold Mansfield Timberview to 10 rushing yards in the first half. They had nothing on the ground, and that was a focus for Jerry Edwards' defense. You could tell there was some open space because the front 7 was really bunched up to stop the run. They got past the linebackers a few times in passing situations and outpassed Colleyville in the first half, 194-183. But they only had 10 rushing yards in the first half, and so that was a struggle. They are averaging less than a yard per attempt on their 14 runs. Miles Davis, the quarterback for the Wolves, 13 of 21 for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns. But on the ground, they have had nothing going, just 1 15-yard run. And other than that, they have Miles Davis, who's lost 14 as well, getting sacked a couple of times. Chance Collins leads the way in receiving with 57 yards for Mansfield Timberview. Landon Dressel, he's got 63 yards on 3 catches and a touchdown as well for Colleyville. Trevi Price, Lucas Sunwall, Gerard Wiley, Gabe Bess, and Connor Supacasey also have been involved. Gerard Wiley, 3 receptions. He was pretty big in that first half. And the Trevi Price, 2 catches for 43 yards on the ground. Gerard Wiley, 8 carries for 23 yards. He's been bottled up a little bit. However, Bodie Weaver hasn't. He's had a couple of huge explosive runs and 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 going beyond 20 yards. So those are some numbers from the first half. Lineups, we'll get you reset for the second half. Let's see the lineups if you're just joining us for Colleyville. That's the offensive lineup for up front for him. The D1 commit, West Dalio Cubic, Gavin Cornwell, Hayes Patterson, Chandler Sampson, and Muhannad Ramadan. Also for Colleyville on offense, you've got Trevi Price, Connor Supacasey, and Landon Dressel out there along with Lucas Sunwall as well. And then Blake Wendler in the backfield alongside Gerard Wiley and Bodie Weaver for the backfield for the Panthers. Defensive front, you got the Logan twins, Nehemiah Oleiwola and Isaiah Omar, who did go down in the first half. Linebacking core, Dax Hebeson, Joey Nisbet, Camden Blackson. Blackson's had a big first half. And in the secondary, Chase Gibson, Hayden West, Will Hummer, Eli Woolery. So we get you reset with the Colleyville lineups. They'll be lined up on defense to begin this second half as Landon Dressel boots it away. It's a touchback, and so the Wolves down 28-13 start with the rock here in the third quarter. A brilliant first half for Bodie Weaver after he threw an interception on the first play of the game. Then Colleyville punted on their second drive, but after that they went touchdown, punt, touchdown, touchdown, punt, and then another touchdown. So they really started to turn it up with 3 touchdowns in their final 4 drives of the first half and nowhere to go on the run. Camden Blackson there once again. Just a pickup of 2 yards on the handoff to Cedric Portley. He had 4 carries for 8 yards in the first half. Again, just 10 total rushing yards in the first half for Timberview, and that one just got 2.
Yeah, and I think on this drive, they're going to try to establish the run, but if they can't get it going, they might go one-dimensional and throw the rest of the way.
And Portley, kind of a run. They flip it out to him in the flat and gets up to the 33-yard line, so a couple shy of the first down. Sets up 3rd and short. Opening drive, second half for Mansfield Timberview. Blitz comes. Flag flies. Free play. Miles Davis taking a shot down the field. It's incomplete. Pass interference comes as well. So 2 flags against Colleyville. Eli Woolery was in the coverage. And so Davis doing a good job recognizing the free play. And they're going to pick up instead of 5. They'll get the 15 on the pass interference.
Yeah, just an ugly series there. Nisbet was right there on the blitz. He was ready. He was just there a little too early. The Wolves get a free play. And anytime a receiver is coming back to get the football, you know there's going to be a flag thrown. And that was what happened right there. As the defensive player's back was turned, you know that's going to be a flag every single time. But it's not the NFL, so it's only 15 yards. You know, the NFL is the spot of the foul. So luckily, it's just 15 here in high school.
And a big break, though, and good job by Davis recognizing the free play. This third quarter brought to you by Classic Chevrolet. We thank them for sponsoring this third quarter. Nowhere to go on the run again. This Colleyville defense has stopped the run with authority tonight. And that was Demarius Logan, the defensive end, chasing down the back. And so both times on first down, they've tried to carry it here to start the second half. Got the first down aided by penalty just a moment ago.
Yeah, there's just nowhere to go. Inside, outside, Colleyville is doing a great job up front, in the middle, and setting the edge.
Davis, another shot down the field, couldn't quite get it to his intended target. And it goes incomplete. 3rd and 11. Upcoming for Mansfield Timberview. Chance Collins, the intended target here.
That time, Colleyville only rushes 4. The pressure gets there. Davis is flushed out the pocket. He scrambles to the right, throws it up, and he's inaccurate. And just great pressure by the Panthers defense there. Now it's 3rd and long.
A really tough throw to make there as well. And Davis, he steps up and gets thrown to the turf. Colleyville comes up big on the stop there. It's Dylan Hammond in there on the action. And Dylan Hammond, big number 16 out there for the Panthers, helping out to make it 4th and 15.
And Davis has not been comfortable at all in this game. If he's not throwing a quick pass, if he has more than 2 seconds to throw the ball, he's getting sacked. And that's exactly what happened again. That is the 5th sack for the Panthers defense tonight. They are getting after the quarterback like they've done all season long.
The punt rolls out back to the 34-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Panthers.
And so Colleyville now set to get the football here to begin their first drive of this third quarter. 3 touchdowns on their final 4 drives in the first half. All their touchdowns in the first half accounted for in part by Bodie Weaver. He had 3 rushing touchdowns himself, along with a score through the air to Landon Dressel. 1st and 10 from the 34 for Colleyville.
Free play.
And they'll have a free play as well, but it gets blown dead. It looks like there was some contact up on the offensive line. So the offsides is called against Timberview, but with the contact up front, unable to get the free play. 1st and 5 upcoming.
And the way that Bodie Weaver has been playing tonight, the Wolves are pretty fortunate there that the referees blew that play dead, because I really would have liked to see what Bodie Weaver could do with the free play. He's been dangerous all game tonight.
Just had a great run to send us to halftime for the touchdown score. And plenty of time once again, finally getting flushed out of the pocket. And he throws it to the Panthers sideline.
Great coverage by the Wolves defense on that play, on that series there. But one thing I like from Bodie Weaver tonight is his eyes are staying downfield. There was nothing there on that play, but his eyes never leave downfield, whether he's scrambling or whether he's looking for somebody that's going up against that secondary. His eyes never leave the field. He's done a wonderful job of that tonight.
Nice burst of speed in between the tackles. Gerard Wiley, one of his best runs of the night for a first down, pickup of 8.
And he just gets tripped up right there in the middle. He had a lot more green turf to run through. He just gets tripped up, but he picks up the first down, and those chains keep on moving. Nice block right there up in the inside as that hole opens. And Wiley goes right through.
Nowhere to go for Wiley there. And a loss of 3 yards makes it 2nd and long as Wiley stopped up in the backfield.
Yep, that time the Wolves defense was ready for it. They knew it was coming, and they had a great pursuit in the backfield.
Gabe Best now in motion. Bodie Weaver has it on 2nd and long. And looks for Best as he was moving on the sideline. Flag flies at the end of the play as well. It was incomplete to Gabe Best. Not sure what the call is going to be. It was at the end of the play. Ineligible receiver downfield, the call against Colleyville, and the penalty is declined. So after they were aided on the drive on an offsides, then picked up a first down run, a loss, and then an incompletion now makes it 3rd and 14 from the 43-yard line. 7:46 on the clock in the third. Weaver escapes pressure again for the moment, but could not fully get away. And a sack made by the Wolves. Coming up is Oluwadalapo Olayinde, the defensive end.
That time, the Wolves send a blitz. They send 5. Colleyville picks it up, but you can only hold for so long, and they get home. And that's really the first time they've really got some serious pressure on Bodie Weaver since early in that first quarter, in that first drive. That was the last time they really got some good pressure on Bodie Weaver.
Oluwadalapo Olayinde on the sack. It's punted away. And Dressel's punt inside the 25 or down to about the 23-yard line, where the Wolves will take back over, so neither team scores on their opening drive of the second half.
The Wolves are still in it. Do not count them out. They are by no means out of this game. We saw that last week when they got down by 3 scores to Argyle. They did come up short. They ran out of time. They ended up losing 35-27, but they showed their resilience. And we could possibly see it tonight. It's a possibility. They are not out of this ball game. It's only a 2-possession game. Still a lot of football left to be played.
Keeping it on the ground on first down once again, and that is some positive movement, especially for a team that had really no yardage in the first half on the ground. They go to Devin Hill, the senior, who has a first down carry that is good, and that's a really good point, Trammell. Down 21-0 at halftime last week, but just losing by a score to a team as coveted and as highly ranked, the top 10 team in the class, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And there, Davis avoids it, but it's intercepted by Colleyville. He got rid of the pressure for a moment, and now Colleyville's bringing this one back. None other than Hayden West.
Wow. What an absolute gift to the Panthers. Watch this replay here. Davis is going to snap the ball. Here comes the blitz right up the middle. I thought he was sacked. I thought the ball, oh no, he tackles the running back. That's what happened. And Davis just throws a pick right down the middle. I thought he was falling down and getting tackled and throwing an interception, but the entire time, the blitz came and hit the running back. I got fooled as well on the broadcast.
Well, that's still plunging right through the line on the blitz. We've mentioned it so many times. When Joey Nisbet can brush free on a blitz, he gets the running back down, and Miles Davis down in the backfield trying to get rid of it, and eventually Hayden West is intercepting the ball.
No.
And now Bodie Weaver looks for the end zone. It's a touchdown from 15 yards out. Lucas Sunwall scores, and Colleyville adds on.
Oh, man. Colleyville is clicking on all cylinders tonight. Oh, man, are they punishing the Wolves right now? What a play. Bodie Weaver, I just can't speak enough on this guy. He's playing at an MVP level tonight. He's showing you why he is going to be the district MVP.
Looking like it in Lucas Sunwall, just a sophomore. He's scored touchdowns in 3 straight weeks. Landon Dressel converts 35-13. Colleyville in control here at Newsom Stadium. It's the Panthers. An interception by Hayden West, and a touchdown goes to Lucas Sunwall.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Do you know what makes a biscuit a Bo biscuit? There it is. Small batch biscuits, just minutes from the oven, with crunchy hand-breaded chicken. Now you know the Carolina legend is here. If you know, you Bo.
And Landon Dressel boots it out of the end zone. Welcome back to Panther Friday Night on Tradio. Landon Dressel's touchback, swinging his leg through, kicks it out of the back of the end zone. But Bodie Weaver, the topic of conversation once more. Not one, not two. Okay, he has 5 touchdowns again after he put together what we thought a performance that just was never going to be topped a week ago. He had 6 in 3 quarters. He's got 5 through about 2.5 so far, 3 on the ground, 2 in the air. Hayden West's interception gave Colleyville a short field, and Lucas Sunwall scores. Movement up front. That's a false start against the Wolves. But a Hayden West INT turns into a Colleyville touchdown. They're up big, 35-13.
Yeah, now this defense is really starting to get momentum. That was a huge interception that led to a huge touchdown. Now the Panthers are up 3 scores. That's gonna change this game plan for the Wolves. They really haven't had success running the football. They're down 22 points. It's about 16 minutes left in this game. They're going to have to get some big plays, so they're going to be forced to throw the ball. They're going to become one-dimensional, which falls into the hands of the Panthers' defensive line.
Davis wanting it all down the field. He has a huge play and a touchdown right in response for Mansfield Timberview. Braylon Barnett finds the end zone for the second time tonight. A massive 80-yard score is a huge answer.
Wow. Right when I said they need a chunk play because they're down 22, I mean, they get it instantly there with about an 80-yard touchdown from Barnett. And Barnett almost has his season total in receiving yards today. That 80-yard touchdown puts him well over 140 receiving yards. He came into the game with 188 receiving yards. He's pretty much got that tonight with that big play.
PAT good. So just as we said, Colleyville was starting to run away with it. It's Miles Davis who throws for his 3rd score, showing some resolve. The last time he touched the football before that, he threw an interception to Hayden West that immediately led to a touchdown pass by Bodie Weaver, his 5th total touchdown of the night. But then one play later, just after you throw an interception, when the whole world knows you have to throw it now, down 3 scores, he sure throws it, and it was a beautiful ball to Braylon Barnett, who scores for a 2nd time tonight on a massive touchdown just after the touchback. And when you go 75 yards down the field in one play, it can change the game quickly, and it did just that.
Yeah, and what part of the field did it happen on? Right down the middle, where they've been hitting us, and every time this game. That first half, when they had success on their drives, those big chunk plays came in the middle, down the seam, on the slant routes, the go routes. That time, we get hit with another go route down the middle. There's nothing on the boundaries. We're not getting hit on the perimeter, but in the middle, they're finding ways to exploit us, and that time they found another big play. This one was for 75 plus.
And so the Wolves to kick off, they'll do it from Colleyville's 45. So a penalty after the touchdown, I believe, will make it a short opportunity for a kickoff here. So Colleyville converted on points off the turnover. And now Mansfield Timberview going for the onside kick.
And I think they got it.
And Colleyville does come up with it.
Okay.
Hopping on the ball, Will Kennedy right there. On the attempt by the Wolves for the onside kick after they got short field to do it.
And I had a feeling that was going to happen. I had a feeling they were going to go for an onside kick. That just shows you the respect that they have for the Panthers offense and how hot this offense has been tonight. They don't want the ball back in Bodie Weaver's hands. You just saw on that last drive why you want to keep the ball out of his hands. He's had a fantastic night.
Bodie Weaver so far tonight, 198 passing yards, along with 100 plus on the ground, 101 rushing yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns, along with 198 passing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So 5 touchdowns and about 300 yards for Bodie Weaver.
Monster game, and we still have 15 minutes left. That's insane.
.537 to go in the third. Weaver on the handoff. Out to Gerard Wiley, who's forced and ushered out of bounds by the defensive back, Caden Washington. A look at the numbers tonight for Bodie Weaver. He is certainly lighting it up. About 300 yards and 5 touchdowns for the quarterback. The UTEP commit, certainly playing like a quarterback who can go on and do things at the Division I level here in this game this evening. Weaver, quick hit in the flat, but stopped up at the backfield. Mansfield Timberview all over that one. Gerard Wiley with a big loss on that play. We'll set up 3rd down and long for Colleyville.
This is a big 3rd down for the Panthers. You don't want to give the ball back to that Wolves offense who just hit you on a 75-plus yard touchdown. You don't want to give it right back and put your defense right back on the field. They just got off. It's important to try to pick up something here.
3rd and 14. Weaver, little flip out, trying to get it to Wiley, but just nowhere to go. And so Colleyville will have to punt, and that Timberview offense will trot back out there. Another look at the numbers tonight for you for Bodie Weaver. 3 rushing touchdowns, a pair of passing scores as well. And he has had a night, to say the least, but a ball game that getting closer, especially considering what Mansfield did in the second half last week. Timberview down 21-0 at halftime. It didn't faze them. They got right back in the game against Argyle.
And they look to do the same here.
And they were down 2 scores at halftime. And after a quality punt return by David Hill, they will have plus field position. And they have an opportunity with the ball in good field position to make it a 1-score game. After Colleyville went up 3 scores, albeit it was short-lived for just 1 play. So we'll see. Wolves offense back out there. Davis, back to pass again. It's intercepted. Colleyville coming up with it again. Dax Hebeson cutting across the field, and Hebeson turning into a ball carrier. Dax Hebeson gets stopped up around the 45. Another interception for a Colleyville defensive player, and the linebacker Dax Hebeson coming up again. His 2nd interception of the year. And that's another takeaway for the Colleyville defense. Last 3 plays for Miles Davis. Interception, 80-yard touchdown, interception.
Dax. That means a touchdown is coming on the next drive, huh? I hope not. But, man, what a play by Dax. Oh, my goodness. I mean, he just takes advantage of a gift. There was nothing there. It looks like Davis and his receiver weren't on the same page.
Colleyville nowhere to go on the ground. They've only been going backwards on the ground here in the second half. That's Gerard Wiley stopped up, and to make the play, Tristan Douglas, the linebacker. And the junior comes in. It's interesting because Mansfield Timberview knows with Colleyville leading by a pair of scores in the second half, they probably want to run the football. And they are crowding the box. It does make you think those one-on-one matchups on the outside could be afforded if Colleyville still wants to air it out.
Yeah, especially when they go one high at the safety position.
Weaver makes a business decision, though, and just goes down after facing some big-time pressure there. Coming off the edge to force it was Caden Washington. And a huge loss for Colleyville back to the 35-yard line. The good news, up 2 scores. They've kept it on the ground, 3rd and 23, but the clock continues to move. But for Colleyville, it is interesting. They haven't had that room to run, and albeit most of their running was from Bodie Weaver in the first half on huge explosive plays. Now they've got a 3rd and 23 backed up to their own 35 after Weaver was sacked and a flag flies. Colleyville called for the delay of game. So a 3rd and 28 awaits. Over a quarter of the field to get here, so throw it up and hope for the best. Tough situation. And we'll see what offensive coordinator Jeremy Snyder has in the works for a 3rd and 28. Weaver keeps his eyes down the field, throws a deep shot. Connor Supacase! Oh, man. You can't describe how Connor Supacase high points it up in the air. Bodie Weaver keeps his eyes down the field. There is a flag in the backfield.
Oh, man.
And it looks like this is coming back, but still an incredible highlight.
Yeah, there was a hold right there. Oh, man. Oh, that just eliminates a fantastic play. I mean, every time we mention Bodie Weaver having the play of the game, he just comes back with something even better. 3rd and 28. He gives his man a shot. I mean, what could go wrong if you throw it deep? It's the same thing as a punt on 3rd and 28. Give your guy a shot. Connor Supacase comes up with a big grab, but unfortunately it is called back because of the holding.
Well, now it's 3rd and 38 yards to go. And Bodie Weaver punts it away, getting a good bounce. Not something you see every day.
No.
Punting on 3rd down.
Wow. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
That's Bear Bryant right there for folks that don't know. You referenced a Viking earlier. We're now referencing Bear Bryant on the broadcast.
Oh, we're going all the way back in time today. Wow.
Legendary Alabama coach. I mean, the part of that is they have had great punt returns tonight. And on 3rd and 38, you know they're going to be just hanging out by the sticks. You don't want a turnover. But you also have the fact that they didn't have anybody back to return. But, yeah, and they end up putting it all the way back to the 25. So they flip the field in a way. After they converted, we thought on 3rd and 28. 3rd and 38 proved to be too much. And the Colleyville defense back out there. Miles Davis running up the sideline before he's eventually forced out by Will Hummer.
That's something we really hadn't seen much today from Davis. That's what he's been wanting to do. He really hasn't even done it much this season. Coming into the game, he had 23 carries for only 97 yards. So he really hadn't had success getting out of that pocket and exploding for those big runs. But that time, he picks up a good chunk for that Wolves offense.
2:07 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. And movement up front early. Offense getting called for the false start. That's Caden Collier.
Both teams getting a little sloppy. We're seeing a lot of penalties here in the second half. First half was a little disciplined for both squads. Now we're seeing a lot of yellow on the field.
So 1st and 15 from the 39-yard line. Miles Davis just gets sacked. Demarius Logan. Oh, Miles Davis, instead of getting sacked, looks like he somehow got rid of the ball. But they're going to call that ball still in play because it went backwards, and they end up even losing more yards.
Hey, the Panthers will take it. I know Davis is wishing he would have just took the sack on that play. That time, Colleyville only rushes 4. Took them a while to get home. That was really a coverage sack. That started with the secondary just having great coverage, and the pass rush finally gets home.
So 2nd and 23. Davis down the field. Couple of safeties deep, Hummer and Gibson. They're back there in coverage, trying to eliminate, taking the top off the defense.
And expect to see Davis do it again. He's going to try to take the top off that defense here on 3rd and long. He's becoming a little impatient. He's thrown a couple balls that he should have been a little more patient on. I think here he's going to test it again. He's going to test that secondary again and try to pick up more than 23 on this one.
Colleyville brings an all-out blitz, and it is a huge shot down the field. And Hayden West, his 2nd interception of the game, just works out as a punt. As the quarterback, Miles Davis, everybody coming in to blitz, and he just launched that one up and sent a prayer, and it came into the hands of Hayden West. So 3 interceptions thrown in this second half for Miles Davis, 2 picked off by Hayden West. He just steps up at the pocket and lets one fly.
Yeah, what did I just say before he threw the pass? He's going to try to get everything on one play. They're kind of in desperation mode. They're really not in desperation mode. There's really no reason to rush. But like you said, it does equal a punt. You just got to launch it up there, throw a prayer. Hopefully one of your guys can make a play. But it results pretty much a punt if you do throw an interception.
So Bodie Weaver throws it out. Plenty of space there for Gerard Wiley. Green in front of Wiley. Pickup of 12 yards for a 1st down.
Yep, that time Gerard Wiley is just left wide open in the flat. The attention is on the receivers. That leaves him open, and he picks up a 1st down.
Under a minute to go in the 4th quarter, and Bodie Weaver, oh my gosh, Bodie Weaver breaking tackles left and right up to the 30-yard line. A gain of 19 on a play that we thought maybe he was going to pick up a yard. He is running in between the tackles like a fullback tonight.
Oh my goodness, giving his tornado impression. I mean, he's just spinning all over the place. You think he's down there? Nope, he's still up spin. Oh, where you going? He spins again, get off me, picks up more yards, and then he's finally taken down. I mean, this guy is a tough runner.
And now Wiley has it himself, and he gets wrapped up around the 30-yard line, so no gain on the play. 20-yard runs for Bodie Weaver left and right tonight. Ball marked at the 29, so 2nd and 9. That will be the conclusion of quarter number 3. Colleyville up by 15, 35-20. They have the ball and the lead as we go to the 4th here from Newsom Stadium in Mansfield.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
From your first paycheck to your first home, Starting your own business or celebrating your retirement, we're here for all of life's important moments. At Simmons Bank, our modern banking solutions make managing your finances effortless and efficient, so you can focus on what matters most. Simmons Bank, proud supporter of the moments that matter. SimmonsBank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all accounts subject to approval. From your first
We've reached quarter number 4 here at Newsom Stadium in Mansfield, Texas. Colleyville Heritage and Mansfield Timberview. 3-5A D2 district action. Colleyville with the football, a 2nd and 9 awaits as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Alongside Trammell Jeffers, I'm Will Connerly, and Jay Caldwell Pools presents quarter number 4 on Panther Friday night here on Tradio. 2nd and 9 for Colleyville. They've got it at the Wolves' 29-yard line. Weaver in the gun, 2 split to either side. Bodie Weaver shot to Trevi Prycia, end zone, touchdown, 29-yard connection, and Trevi Prycia finds the end zone. Bodie Weaver having his way tonight. Back-to-back weeks, it's 6 total TDs for QB1 Bodie Weaver.
Right in the bucket. Check this replay out right here. Bodie Weaver, he wants his first read. He has his first read. A fade right down the right sideline. Touchdown. That is 6 touchdowns. That matches his career high, which he just set last week. Oh, my goodness. Bodie Weaver is on fire. 12 touchdowns in the last 2 games, and we still have 12 minutes left to play.
That was the first play of the 4th quarter, and Bodie Weaver, what he has done tonight, it's just been a performance for Colleyville Heritage football fans. For those that don't know, this is a Mansfield Timberview defense that is highly regarded. This is a Mansfield Timberview defense that many thought was a team that could compete to win this district. A lot of people had them ranked as the 2nd best team in this district. Colleyville comes into this game, and they have something to say about that. 42-20, they're on top. And Bodie Weaver, the best game that he has played as a Colleyville Heritage Panther was last week. Tonight, he has topped that with his performance, and he is still going. Colleyville rolling 42-20, a beautiful throw once again. And this is a night to remember for the Panthers. They have been disciplined. They've taken the ball away, and they have punched it in on offense with ultimate efficiency. Even in the second half when the backs aren't getting much yards on the ground, Bodie Weaver dropping it in, and Colleyville in business, turning another Hayden West score or interception into a score. But here's a massive return in the works here for Mansfield Timberview, and big-time return. Just as we give the praise to Bodie Weaver, we have to give some on the other side for the Wolves. They didn't want to kick it away to the dynamic returner, David Hill, but he had it anyway up the sideline for a massive touchdown.
Wow. You go back to when Colleyville put up 35 on the board. Boom, the very next play, Timberview scores a 75-yard touchdown. Then Colleyville comes right back a couple drives later. They put 42 points on the board. What happens the very next play on the kickoff? A 100-yard touchdown. Are you kidding me? This just speaks on how resilient this Mansfield Timberview Wolves team is. We saw it last week when they played against Argyle. They were down 3 scores. They got it down to 1 score. They just ran out of time. Here they are still fighting. This team does not go away. They do not get knocked out. They take the punches and they stand up. They're going to be fighting until that 9th round. They're going to be fighting until this clock hits 0.
Well, David Hill, he is having a quality night. He is a UTSA commit. He's had a good night, 100-yard return. And UTSA, that sounds familiar. Another UTSA commit, Hayden West for Colleyville. He's had a good night too. 2 interceptions. Those both have led to touchdowns. But then the Wolves UTSA commit, David Hill, 100-yard touchdown return. Just as we were giving the praise to Bodie Weaver, the Wolves strike on special teams, and they do it twice, 100-yard touchdown return and a 80-yard touchdown as well, right after Colleyville scores each time, where you think they're pulling away, but the Wolves find a way.
Mm-hmm. They're clawing. They're not going away. They're not going to go away until the clock hits all 4 zeros. It's going to be a dogfight.
11:38 on the clock. We have had 2 scores, 2 touchdowns in this fourth quarter. Less than 30 seconds into the quarter. And the kickoff through the back of the end zone. But how about that? 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Less than 30 seconds into the quarter.
Yeah, that's unheard of.
22 to be exact.
That is unheard of. And that touchdown that the Wolves just scored brought a lot of fans back into the stadium, because when Bodie Weaver threw that last touchdown, it looked like it was the dagger to a lot of fans. They started walking out of the stadium. But now you're seeing some of them come right back after that kick return for a touchdown. They're only down 15. It's still a ball game.
So Weaver back out there for Colleyville. And he's back to pass. Now steps up, has his room to run. Wisely slides down at the 30-yard line, going to be marked a yard shy. A pickup of 4, 2nd and 6 awaits for the Panthers, with the clock moving in the fourth quarter. Weaver pitches it back, and now the ball is loose on the ground, and the Wolves pick it up and run it into the end zone. Tristan Douglas picks it up. Weaver pitched it back, trying to find Gerard Wiley. Wiley then tumbled down on the turf, and he's still shaken up. Down for the Panthers right around the 20-yard line, and Tristan Douglas scores. And if you thought fans were starting to come back in the stadium, they certainly are now. Colleyville just a moment ago went up by 3 scores again, but back-to-back touchdowns, and it's not on Colleyville's defense. It's a kick return for a touchdown and a defensive fumble scoop and score by Tristan Douglas right after Colleyville got the ball back. After the big kick return for a touchdown, it's the Wolves' defense. Ball's pitched back, it's loose. Wiley couldn't handle it, and now Gerard Wiley being tended to by the training staff. So 2 of Colleyville's best players been shaken up in this game. Isaiah Omar went out in the first half and haven't seen him return yet. Now your starting running back had the ball pitched back to him, and it went on the carpet, and he's shaken up, and he gets up and makes his way to the sideline. So a bad break for Colleyville there.
Wow, what a turn of events. I mean, just 1 minute ago on that game clock, this was a 3-score game. Now we're looking at a 1-score game. Just imagine some of the people watching the broadcast who took a restroom break when we were up 3 scores, and they come back and see it's 42-33 pending the extra point. Wow. It's just crazy how momentum is. Momentum is a crazy thing, and it is real. And now the Panthers offense will come back on the field. And if you're that Wolves defense, you got to be feeling good right now. You just got a turnover and you just scored a touchdown. The momentum has completely shifted back your way, and you're playing in front of your home crowd. You got the crowd back into this game. They got to be feeling good.
I mean, it's a one-score game.
Yeah, and it's a one-score game.
It was a 3-score game just a moment ago. It's a one-score game now. Mansfield Timberview has got back into the ball game on a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown and a fumble recovery that went for 6 as well, a scoop and score for a TD. And Timberview has cut the deficit to 8 points. After Colleyville was up 3 scores, a kick return for a touchdown. Immediately, Colleyville gets it back, fumbles on a play where Weaver was trying to pitch it back to Gerard Wiley, who got shaken up on the play. And Mansfield Timberview scores. So we have a ball game. Colleyville getting it back. Just under 11 minutes left in regulation. And Chase Gibson fighting across the 25-yard line. But man, what a turn of events. What a start. What a first minute. In the first minute of the fourth quarter. 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns in 1 minute and 7 seconds. That is crazy. Unheard of. I mean, that just shows you how great this ball game has been. I mean, this is what we anticipated. This is what we got excited about since last week. I mean, from the beginning of Monday, I've been dying to see this game, dying to call this game. And here we are, and it was well worth the wait and well worth the loss of sleep.
Well, Colleyville hoping to hold on. 3 touchdowns in the first minute of the third quarter in 3 different ways. A passing touchdown from Bodie Weaver, followed by a kick return for a touchdown and then a defensive score. And right there, Bodie Weaver appears to be shaken up as he went down on the play.
Okay, he's getting up. He's trying to get up on his own power. That's a good sign. He hurt his ankle on the play. I think he's okay.
And so Weaver now up. Oh, man, Colleyville fans in the fourth quarter started off on a bright note. First play, the Panthers, they were able to score a touchdown in the opening play of the quarter. But Bodie Weaver has to come off the field for a play, so Harrison Roberts, the junior quarterback, comes in. We saw him last week in the fourth quarter. In a game where Colleyville,
they're sort of in a tricky situation. You're only up 8. The momentum has completely shifted their way. Do you hand it off or do you throw it?
and Gerard Wiley, or check that, excuse me, and apologies there, Gabe Best. Gerard Wiley went out last drive, but he comes back in as well. So good news for the Colleyville offense. Your starting quarterback and starting running back back into the game, because Gabe Best got the carry just there. But things have gone from bad to worse here for Colleyville in this fourth quarter. Started with a touchdown, but then they surrender a kick return and a fumble, scoop and score defensive touchdown for Mansfield. From 3 scores to a 1-score game in less than a minute. Now Bodie Weaver looks to find his tight end, but Blake Wendler unable to corral it. And now the Wolves getting the football back. Down a score here in the fourth quarter. Wow, what a turn of events we've had here in the fourth.
Yeah, after that turnover, they've just been out of sync. A lot of negative plays, a couple of misses, a couple of sacks that they've given up. They're just not in sync. And then that, like I said, the Wolves defense, they've got all the momentum. They are feeling good about themselves. And now, here we are punting the football.
The punt is off. And the return starting at the 40-yard line. cannot get the man down. The dynamic returner across the 50-yard line, David Hill. And so the Wolves will have quality field position. 9:20 to go in the fourth, down by a score.
He's been dynamic in special teams. I mean, in the kick return game, we saw him return a 100-yard kick. His punt returns, he's returned some big punts. I mean, man, you got to find a way to avoid kicking him the ball because he's making you pay.
So we saw 3 touchdowns in about a minute to start the fourth quarter. It's been wild. Flag on the return. It was an illegal block in the back, so that will back the Wolves up.
It's been a while since we've seen this Wolves offense. Last time they were on the field, they threw an interception. It's just been so many crazy events throughout the game. We haven't really seen them. So the good thing is they don't really have a lot of momentum going on the offensive side. They've got to prove that here on this drive.
And it is incomplete. And trying to find some momentum, Trammell, they turn to sophomore quarterback Stephen Hall. So after 3 first-half interceptions, Miles Davis exits, and a new quarterback into the ballgame.
It's the perfect time to put him in, too. Your quarterback's been struggling. It's time to make a change, and you're coming back.
And the catch there by the dynamic Braylon Barnett, who has a pair of touchdown scores tonight. Grabs it on the sideline and dances up to about the 39-yard line. And they're going to give him a first down there, right to the 40. So Timberview, they've thrown 3 interceptions in the second half, make a change at quarterback now. And a flag on the play, hit over the middle. West is there to make the tackle. Wolves want to go hurry up after Barnett makes the grab, but this one looks like it's coming back. So not everybody was set prior to the snap. And the false start pushes it to a 1st and 15.
The Panthers get hit with a big break on that one because once again, they get hit up the middle with these drags and these slant routes. They're wide open in the middle of the field. They've got to find an answer to stop that.
The sophomore quarterback, Stephen Hall, throws over the middle and somehow makes a completion there, finding his guy, Taylor Hansen, the running back, makes the catch, and this fourth quarter has been wild. Jay Caldwell-Pools bringing us quarter number 4. You've got the quarterback making some nice plays. Man, oh man.
And that time, that was a desperation throw. He honestly just got lucky and completed a big play. You really don't want to see your quarterback taking chances like that, especially your second-string quarterback who you just threw in the game.
Looking deep, flag flies. Stephen Hall was looking deep, and it appears to be a holding call against the Colleyville secondary. The flag flew from the secondary. So that looks like the initial indication. Now the officials will converse.
And I spoke on...
And it is holding against the defense, so an automatic first down, Trammell.
Yeah, and I spoke on the Wolves having success down the middle. It starts with the RPOs. When Davis was in the game, they were having success down the middle because of the RPOs. The linebacker gets pulled away, and they find an open man up the middle. That happened again, but it was a holding call.
Another hit over the middle, finding Chance Collins. So speedy with the ball, and the Texas A&M commit gets the Wolves just outside the red zone. The sophomore quarterback looking good, coming in relief. Colleyville bringing a blitz, finding Cedric Portley just for a quick gain, and they're going very quickly, no huddle, than trying to run, finding anything on the first down.
Really quick, you gotta find a way to get an incompletion to stop this momentum.
And there is a bad snap, picked up and thrown, still complete by Collins, and he wrestles his way up to the 12-yard line. It's going to be good enough for a first down.
Yeah, he's getting that ball out really quick on those RPOs. Now on the quick screens, running that quick tempo, no huddle offense. They're getting it out quick, and that's their game plan. Throw those short passes quick and let your man pick the rest, those yards after the catch.
Man in motion, 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Portley on the run. Pickup of about 2 up to the 10. The Wolves can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. The line to gain right around the 1.5 yard line. Officially the 2. Perhaps if they get anywhere inside the 2, they'll have picked up a first down. But 2nd and 8 from the 10.
This is a big down right here.
Starter Miles Davis back into the game. And Davis loses the pigskin. So right when he gets back into the game, is it his 4th turnover of the quarter? No, it looks like they say he was down, but either way, they insert the starting senior quarterback back into the game for one play.
Wow. That's pretty questionable. I mean, you had the momentum going with your second-string quarterback. Why would you put Davis back in after he's turned the ball over 3 times and almost did it a 4th there? I don't understand. You had momentum going. Now you're out of field goal range.
And now it's Stephen Hall. Logan with the pressure. Hall has to throw it away. And so from a first down and 10, they have a 2nd down and 8 from the 10-yard line. Right in there. It's now a 4th and 22 from the 24. Davis coming in and getting sacked. And on 4th and 22, desperation time.
Yeah, here you're just going to see them throw the ball in the end zone up for grabs. This is backyard football here. You're going to see a Hail Mary.
Big play here in this game. Stepping up to the sideline, nowhere to go. And a turnover on downs. The Wolves, who fight back in this ball game, go for it on 4th and a mile, and don't get anywhere close. No completion either. And an interesting drive that was led by the sophomore quarterback for the most part until they put Davis in, and he loses a ton of yards. About 20 yards they lost on that big sack.
Yeah, a couple of questionable calls by the head coach of the Wolves. I didn't understand why he put Davis back in the game on that 3rd down. And then on 4th, you don't even go for a shot. I don't know. Hey, it gives Colleyville the ball back, and it's a gift. We'll take it.
Yeah, really, really interesting. You understand. It was, I mean, going for it seems to be the play. You want to get something up in the end zone because you're out of field goal range. And you're not out of the game by any stretch.
No.
You've got 4:50 left now and 3 timeouts. So a stop here, and they can get back into the game. What will Colleyville do is also the question now. They try to run the football and dwindle down this clock, but 4.5, still plenty of time, and The Wolves still have all their timeouts. Bodie Weaver gets absolutely rocked, and he throws an interception as well. That's into the end zone. The second defensive score for the Wolves in the second half, and the second for Tristan Douglas. The linebacker has 2 touchdowns, a scoop and score, and a pick 6, and this game just got turned upside down.
Look at this replay here. Bodie Weaver, he tries to get rid of the football. The blitz gets there right in the middle, and it lands right in the middle linebacker's hands. He takes it for a pick 6, and now with 4 minutes and 23 seconds, it's a 2-point ball game, and you would believe that the Wolves are going to go for 2, and they have the ball sitting right there at the 2-yard line, so they're going to go for 2 to try to tie this game up. It's at that point of the game. It's at the 3-yard line. Yeah, they put the ball at the 3-yard line, and the Wolves are going to go for 2.
This is unbelievable.
Wow. I mean, it's just surprise after surprise after surprise. This is an insane ball game.
It's got to be the craziest fourth quarter. One of the craziest fourth quarters you'll ever see.
Ever.
100-yard kickoff return. Let's back up. The first minute or so, we saw 3 touchdowns in this quarter. Not to mention, Colleyville has gone up by 3 scores in this game 2 separate times. 2 separate times. Bodie Weaver was just shredding this defense apart. Fourth quarter comes, and Mansfield Timberview, they have 2 defensive touchdowns in this quarter. The offense has not done anything.
No.
Special teams, kickoff return for a touchdown, and 2 defensive scores. But now the offense has to do something to try to tie it.
Wow.
But think about that. You're down 3 scores 2 separate times. You're down 3 scores in the fourth quarter, and now you have a chance to tie the game, and your offense didn't score a touchdown.
Have you ever heard of that before, Will?
You're down 3 scores, and your offense didn't score a touchdown. You have a chance to tie the game now. I haven't. And not to mention, Tristan Douglas scored both touchdowns.
Both touchdowns.
A scoop and score and a pick 6. And Bodie Weaver took an absolute shot getting rid of that ball. And for somebody who hasn't thrown an interception all year, a couple tonight.
And both are from the same result. Both blitzes up the middle. His arm gets hit as he throws, and it just changes the ball of the direction. It changes the direction of where the ball is going, and it lands right in the hands of the defender both times.
Well, we shouldn't say it's the play of the game yet, but this is a big one.
Oh, man.
Mansfield Timberview trying to tie it. It is Miles Davis, the starting quarterback, under center. Davis drops the snap. It's picked up by Colleyville. And, oh, man, Mansfield Timberview does not convert the 2-point try. That's the second time tonight that they failed on a 2-point conversion. They went up in this game, scoring first, but it was 6-0 on the lead because they went for 2 on their first touchdown of the game and didn't get it. Hindsight's 20/20, but PAT there on the opening drive. They're going for a PAT to tie it instead of trying to go for 2, and they mishandled the snap under center. Miles Davis was there, and still the offense hasn't done. That would have been the first points of the fourth quarter for the offense after being down 3 scores, and they're still unable to convert. The special teams and defense has done their part for the Wolves, and there's still plenty of time. 2 timeouts, 4:23 to go, the 2-minute timeout as well, to see if Colleyville getting the ball back can hold on, because this offense, after scoring right to start the fourth quarter, has certainly slowed down, and allowing a couple of defensive scores has certainly been daggers for the Panthers here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of bobble snaps today from the Wolves offense. It's been about 5 of them, about 2 that have went high, 3 that have been low, and then another one that hit the ground. So it's about 6 today. 4 minutes and 23 seconds left in this ball game. It's already been insane. I just know some more crazy things are about to happen.
Well, the kickoff goes in the back of the end zone. Mansfield, Timberview getting in a position to tie the game, but they miss the 2-point conversion. Colleyville maintaining a 2-point lead in one of the wildest fourth quarters one could ever imagine. Jay Caldwell Pools bringing us this crazy fourth quarter. Colleyville, can they hold on? The best offense for the Wolves, though, in the fourth quarter has been their defense.
Their defense.
And their defense is out on the field now.
I've spoken highly on Bodie Weaver today. He's got 6 total touchdowns. This is the moment here in the clutch to show why you're one of the best players in the Metroplex.
Gabe Bess on the carry. Colleyville, of course, trying to work the clock. They'll work it all the way down. But certainly 2 timeouts left. Big plays coming up for Colleyville. But they are in a jumbo package with Joey Nisbet and Dax Hebeson in the backfield. And Gabe Bess carrying the heaviest set you'll see Colleyville run. No receivers out on the field. Basically saying, here's our play. We're going to run it, try and stop it. And it's Gabe Bess having that responsibility right now.
And Timberview knew it was coming. That's why they stacked the box. Favorable run for the Panthers as they will face a 3rd and short, 3rd and 2, the most important 3rd down of the game.
Weaver, handoff to Joey Nisbet. Nisbet getting pushed forward, and he's right at the line to gain. And they move the chains forward. So a first down for Colleyville, and a massive first down at that. Timberview does have 2 timeouts left. But Colleyville, they'll get to snap this ball. You would think Timberview would try to get a timeout in on the plus side of the 2-minute timeout after this play. But Colleyville in their heavy set. Gabe Bess on the run. He's got space across the 40-yard line. And so a timeout is called with 2:24 left.
Good run on first down. Timberview stacks the box again. Bess is trying to run it right up the middle. There's nothing there. He bounces it to the outside. He picks up 6. And forces Timberview to call a timeout.
What a game this has been. Frustrating, probably, if you're Colleyville. You thought you were running away with it. Up by 3 scores, but a special teams touchdown in a pair of defensive scores has made this one different. Gabe Bess on the carry, and he is stopped up on 2nd down, and he'll lose 2 yards. That'll set up 3rd down. Mansfield Timberview picking up another timeout. And they do it on the plus side of the 2-minute timeout. So just as we said a moment ago, the biggest play of the game upcoming. If Colleyville doesn't get this, it would be 4th down. The clock would stop at 2 minutes, and it would give Timberview the football back with just under 2 minutes to go in the game. Down by just 2 with a chance for a field goal to win it. But if you're Colleyville and you pick up a first down, that's pretty much the ball game. So what do you do if you're the Panthers?
Right here, they've been playing a little conservative on this drive, and it's kind of understandable. They're playing cat and mouse with Timberview because of the timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. They're trying to get those yards. They know Timberview is going to call a timeout, so you don't want to really throw the ball to stop the clock. Here, on 3rd down, you got to get something up the middle. You've had so much success. Find somewhere in the middle, and let's move those chains so we can win the game.
Weaver throws it. Sideline. Dressel unable to make the grab because it was well out of bounds. And oh boy.
Oh man.
Incomplete pass stops the clock at 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in this 4th quarter. If you were watching earlier with some friends and you turned it off when it was a 3-score game, time to turn it back on now or let your friends know, because it has turned into a ball game and clutch time is now in store. What is Timberview going to do at quarterback when they get the ball back as well? A flag is down.
Oh, man. Got a delay of game penalty on the offense. They didn't snap the ball in time, so now they're going to move back 5 more yards, which is going to make the punt even more difficult and favor Timberview in better field position.
So Dressel punts this away, and it's caught at the 35-yard line. Return in the works for Mansfield Timberview, out of bounds at the 45-yard line. David Hill, the dynamic return man, has been so dangerous in special teams tonight. And here we go. A field goal can win it for Mansfield Timberview. A stop will win it for the Panthers with Timberview out of timeouts. 1 timeout remaining will be the 2-minute timeout, presumably coming after this play. It is the sophomore quarterback into the ball game, and he has a quick hit to the outside, hauled in by Braylon Barnett, and that does put us at the 2-minute timeout. Well, Tramel Jeffers, this game is coming right down to the wire in the weirdest and wildest of ways. We've reached a point here at Newsom Stadium in Mansfield where Timberview and the Wolves tried to complete what would really be a miraculous comeback. Only way to describe it. They have a 2nd and 1 at the 32. A field goal would win the game. For a Colleyville defense that has played great in this 4th quarter. The offense hasn't done a thing.
No.
But again, 3 touchdowns that haven't come from the offense. 2 defense, 1 special teams has accounted for this comeback. And now the Wolves defense gets the offense the ball back, and they just need a field goal to go ahead. And that's a 1st down completion up to the 27-yard line. Finding Dalen Hill. 42-40. Colleyville trying to hold on for dear life.
He was moved too fast.
The sophomore quarterback gets stopped. And one of the biggest plays of the day made by the Panthers, Demarius Logan when you need him.
Who else? I mean, whenever you see somebody coming up that interior, you know it is Demarius Logan. He makes a huge stop, a 9-yard loss on first down.
The blitz comes for Colleyville. Throwing over the middle. That ball's complete. Inside the 20-yard line. Wolves want to go quick after the Braylon Barnett completion. It's a 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. Just over a minute to go in the ball game. Blitz comes again. Stephen Hall getting rid of it. And it's an incompletion, intended target toward the 5-yard line. Unable to go grab that one. Clock stops, 64 seconds left.
That time the sophomore quarterback just misfires. The blitz comes through the middle. The Wolves do a good job of picking it up. He scrambles outside. He has a wide open man down the sideline. He just misfires.
Second down 10 from the 17. Shot toward the end zone. And it's incomplete. Intended target was Braylon Barnett again. And the junior wide receiver looking for a hat trick. Would have been his 3rd touchdown of the night.
Colleyville blitzes again. Nice throw, a wonderful catch, but he didn't have enough space. You got to get at least 1 foot in. He wasn't able to, but he did catch it. It was a nice catch.
Well, he didn't.
No, well, yeah, technically he didn't.
Off his hands, and now there is a completion. Running up inside the 10-yard line. That's Cedric Portley who makes the grab. 4th down.
They can't clock it.
They cannot clock it here.
Wow.
4th down. They could have set up an opportunity for a game-winning field goal. Instead,
I'm not understanding why their field goal team hasn't run on the field.
Exactly.
Okay, now they are. Look at the play clock. Are they going to get it off in time? I don't know. No timeouts.
So a game-winning field goal try. And now Colleyville calls a timeout. Oh, man. It was 3rd down. They have the completion. And 4th down, for a moment, the offense stayed out there. And Colleyville calls the timeout, understandably, to try to ice the kicker. Right? But, I mean, there was 10, 15 seconds left on the play clock. They would have got a field goal off.
Yes, but at the same time,
they would have had to rush it.
They were rushing, so I don't know. Interesting call. It could go either way. I don't know. It's not a bad call for a timeout. I don't know. It's just however you're feeling in that moment. Me personally, I would have let the play go through.
Jose Hernandez. "26-yard tries up, and it's good." The Mansfield Timberview Wolves have clawed back, all the way back. They're now on top by 1. In a game that just leaves you speechless if you're a Panther fan, because the defense doesn't allow a touchdown in the 4th quarter. Colleyville's up 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. They're up 3 scores, and that lead evaporates with 2 defensive touchdowns, a kickoff return for a touchdown. And a converted field goal as well.
This game here, I mean, it's left me speechless. This has been one of the most unpredictable games I've ever seen. Momentum swings, unexpected plays. I mean, just a bizarre flow to the game overall.
And for as much as Colleyville dominated in the first half, they have not had the same results. Goes without saying in the second half, particularly the fourth quarter. And this one hurts for Colleyville. They do have one timeout and 14 seconds left. It's not over until it's over. The Wolves have shown that. Chase Gibson brings this one out.
You got to go down. You got to go down.
And Gibson
got to get out of bounds.
Gets out of bounds with 3 seconds left. Colleyville has one final prayer. In a 43-42 game, a 26-yard field goal puts Mansfield Timberview up after being down 3 scores, an 100-yard kickoff return and 2 defensive scores, along with the go-ahead field goal, puts them all the way back. And the prevent defense in the works now for Mansfield Timberview. You're on your own 26-yard line.
Yeah, here it's just desperation time. You got to go with the laterals.
3 back deep. A few more go for the Wolves. Probably for Bodie Weaver, who steps up in the pocket. And Bryant, the intended target, around the 40-yard line. It's incomplete, and the Wolves win. Mansfield Timberview fights all the way back, and a crushing loss for the Colleyville Heritage Panthers. The Wolves win it 43-42. They fight back from down 3 scores in the fourth quarter alone and win this one in a game that just absolutely stings for the Colleyville Heritage Panthers.
I said it back in the third quarter. This Wolves team is resilient. They showed it last week. They came up short last week, but they got it done this week. They were down 28-13. I told you guys, this ball game is not over. Colleyville goes up 3 scores. It's looking like it's over, but I told us, hey, there's still a lot of time left. There's still 22 minutes left in the ball game. It's not over. They score immediately on the very next play. They make it a 2-score game again. Colleyville goes right back up 3 scores. We think, hey, it might be over again. No. This Wolves defense, I mean, man. Wow, what a performance. This Wolves team, they really came to play.
They did tonight, and we shut it down. 43-42, Timberview tops Colleyville. A heartbreaking loss for the Panthers. For Trey Bell and Tremel Jeffers, I'm Will Connerly, saying so long from Newsom Stadium.